Welcome to Natural Six. Sorry, didn't see you there. Hope we haven't been keeping you too long. This is episode 18 of our Adventures in the World of Reliquia.
Antiqua.
In the world of Antiqua.
Listen, Linda, honey, listen.
Go on, the floor is yours.
I was deep in the roleplay. I've also been quite unwell recently. I was using every ounce of my brain power.
You were so good.
It was amazing.
In that moment, and I made a boo-boo.
I liked it because it reminded all of us that you are a mere mortal like us. You were so above us on an astral plane that it was like, actually, Alex is one of us.
Yeah. But, you know, two people improvising it, it's great to put one on a pedestal. Shall we say hi to our heroes?
Hello, I'm Aoife Wilson, and I'll be playing Dolly de Winter, the Tiefling Bard.
Hello, I'm Alex Jordan, and I will be playing the Kobold Rogue.
Hello, I'm Doug Cockle, and I'll be playing Kelmis, the Dragonborn Druid.
Hi, I'm Hollie, and I'm playing the human fighter, Elwyn Grenweird.
In spite of my efforts last week, I will still be playing Radiant Thorn by the Wood Elf Wizard, and my name is Benjamin Starr.
And I'm the Gypsophilia and all the foliage around this bunch of roses.
Beautiful.
Do you come up with those on the fly?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
No.
What kind of flyer would be
You
on
have a whole
Do you think my writing is that shit that I would sit that I'd commit time to a line that it doesn't go anywhere? It's a gentle callback to something no one cares about.
Yes.
Should we play some Dungeons and Dragons?
Yay!
Last time. You began face to face with Iago, preparing to do battle in the card room of the Tipsy Scholar. Iago initiated combat with a mist of blood that filled the room and incapacitated Radian and I, the character, not the me. The rest of you leapt into battle, Kelnis with magically sharpened teeth and claws bared, as Elwyn slashed with her sword and dagger, whilst Dolly attempted unsuccessfully to curse your tiefling adversary. Soon the battle swung in favour of your opponent, as Dolly, then Kelnis, fell to Iago's blood whip. Dolly was revived with a Kelberry, but after a few failed castings of Chromatic Orb, Iago's ire was turned towards Radian. More blood mist filled the room around the elf, and, having failed a Constitution saving throw, he fell to the ground, dead. With his last moments of consciousness, he called on the deck of many friends, summoning Erastus Gracie, a skeletal human with a penchant for death and decay. Erastus offered no reprieve for Radian, so Dolly drew from the deck one final time, bringing forth Jaxie Flaxseed the Tabaxi Taxi, who saved Radian. Jaxie bested Erastus Gracie and turned the tide of battle in your favour. Iago was killed by Elwyn, and a grateful Pennick promised to ensure that the Reeve was able to push through a vote in the right of the common voice. That night, as I slept wedged beneath a bunk that housed a slumbering Kelnis, having speed cleaned the entire lower third of the card room, Radian, Dolly, and Elwyn talked and drank in the Tipsy Scholar. They debated pulling a card at random from the deck to try and reason with whoever was drawn, but eventually decided against it and headed to bed. The next morning, you met with Eris, the Reeve, and spoke of Iago's death. She introduced I to the concept of salted caramel, agreed to gift Kelnis a diamond, and prepared to invoke the right of common voice. Radian and Kelnis destroyed a flower bed and were gifted with a bunch of flowers by Elwyn, Eris's husband, which they in turn gave to I, who was headed to see Quincy to collect his high chair diagram. Armed with his bunch of flowers, some encouraging words, an armful of coins, and a truly disgusting series of sketches, he made for Quincy's home. Once inside, the kobold and gnome spoke about tribe, friendship, and faith. it was revealed that whilst kobolds were raised to consider Ristrin and the gnomes untrustworthy traitors, no such teachings existed in gnome culture. Caught between all he had thought to be true and the friend stood before him, I accepted the high chair diagram, as well as a token from Quincy symbolising the potential for their peoples to find peace. Meanwhile, the rest of you had set about purchasing enough healing potions to ensure that the Deck of Many Friends wouldn't become your primary mode of evading death. That done, you reunited with I and headed to Oratory Square, where the assembled populace prepared to take part in the rite. After Eris called for the vote, the crowd waited to see whether the learned friends would block its passage, and as Pennick ascended to the top of the fountain, Dolly briefly appeared as Iago to ensure that the elf would uphold his end of the bargain. Sure enough, he did. And to the shock of many of those assembled, the vote passed swiftly. As the crowd dispersed to prepare for the journey to Mouse, you spoke with Eris in the square, who promised to pass Elowin's love onto her family, and that's where we are now. So the Reeve is before you. She's stepped forward with Elwyn, her husband, leaving the watch behind to have this conversation, trying to maintain the secrecy of your true identities. And having spoken to Elwyn, her eyes turn to you, Kelmis. And she says, I believe this will be sufficient. And she pulls a ring from her finger. It looks to be an engagement or a wedding ring with a large diamond set at the centre of it. She pulls off the ring and she hands it to you.
I take it and I say, surely there must be another stone you can part with.
I give this understanding what it means for you and what it means for those we care about.
Thank you.
And she looks around at the square that's now kind of emptied of people. Even when you spoke to Broderick before, he said, after the Rite of the Common Voice, business is always booming. That hasn't happened this time. This isn't a time for sort of drinking and celebration. This is a time when people are going to figure out what they keep, what they leave, how they get it there. Some of these people would never have been beyond Yannick, really, let alone as far as Mouse. She says, well, we have much to do here. Where is it that you go now?
Sanctum.
Onwards to the
find
Sanctum.
Themselves. The answers.
Of course. We have had strange reports of the Sanctum of late. The Legion are marching far wider than before. Kelnis, you would absolutely know what this is. I would suggest I and Radian don't. Let's have Elowyn and Dolly roll history checks. Go ahead, Elowyn.
4.
4?
9.
A 9. You know
Actually,
it.
Can I? No, never mind. I was going to throw heroic inspiration on.
You can do that?
Yeah. Dirty 20.
Okay, cool. So,
You know the most.
you would know, Dolly, with a 9, that the Fortis Legion are an order of dragonborn kind of paladins, like they're the closest thing you have really to a military force. And Elowyn, what you would know is that the Fortis Legion are a kind of reclusive little order who stay on the Sanctum. They're considered a little bit old-fashioned and a little bit almost like, this is a very British reference, but like Dad's Army. It's a little bit kind of these sort of home guard who stay at, who they might be a bit traditional and they're a bit stuck in their ways and they don't really do anything, but they have high ideals about morality and honour and all this sort of stuff, which is maybe at odds with the world as it is now. And they never leave the Sanctum. And so the fact that they are abroad is very strange. And Kel, you would know all this, and you would also know about, which we'll get to, I'm sure, more about the history of the Fortis Legion and really what it means. So she says, they're roaming. We heard almost as far as Vale. And Vale is 3 days from the Sanctum. It's about 3 days to Vale from where you are now, and then over the river, and about 3 days up to the Sanctum.
Well, if they've left the Sanctum, I'd say that's something to worry about.
I don't know a lot about them. I've tried to avoid the Sanctum in my travels.
Why Vale? Why are they marching that far?
Is they looking for something?
Could be. I don't know how they're getting around either. I mean, it's not the easiest journey from the Sanctum to Vale.
Looking for someone?
Possibly. Only one way to find out for sure.
Cool. Can't wait to bump into them in the forest.
Keeps your eyes open.
Let's just hope we hear them coming.
Listens.
Sure. I'll do that.
Is there anything you guys want to do in Yannick before you leave?
I was wondering if we should go and have a look at Iago's room.
I think this could be an idea.
The Black Cat. Yeah, they might have cleared it out by now, but there's no harm in having a look.
We could speak quick and catch there before they has a chance.
Just be careful before you touch anything. The whip wasn't exactly friendly.
Good point.
Neither's anyone in the Black Cat, but I trust you might want to get in and out without being seen.
Click your little boots together then.
Okay. So, Eris takes her leave, Eris and Elwyn. They say goodbye to you and make their way with the watch over to the northeastern corner of Oratory Square and then back out towards the residence. And you guys are heading south. You all going there? Or is it just I by himself?
I guess we can go as far as the place itself, and we don't all have to go in.
Yeah, I've no real desire to go poking around in there. Don't really want to go in the Black Cat, quite frankly.
No.
So you go down towards the Black Cat. You've been there before. And it's just as it was, kind of dilapidated, kind of unfriendly looking, unwelcoming.
Can I get any sense from the outside, having been in there, which window might have been his?
I don't know what you'd be looking for in the sense that just trying to figure out, I don't want to fail to reward a good roll.
Yeah.
But I don't really, you've
Yeah.
never been upstairs, you've only been in the tavern area, you don't know how many rooms there are. I don't think there's really anything that you could do that would give you that level of insight. So I'll say, unfortunately, not really.
What was the name of the?
Tommen was the innkeeper here.
Does we think one of yous wants to maybe does a distract?
What you do remember is that when you go into the Black Cat, you go into a corridor with a set of stairs leading up, and then you have to go through another door into the tavern area. So essentially there's an empty corridor which allows you to get upstairs when you go in. You don't walk straight into the drinking space where everyone could see you.
Well, in that case then, I'd like to just pull out my thieves' tools. And I'd like to have a little probe and see if I can find a locked door. See if I can, or maybe even, just try some of the handles and have a peek in. It might be that his is left open.
I'm going to stand like down in the entrance area, ready to help if I shouts or something.
Great. So Kelnis is going in and going into this sort of empty corridor at the base of the stairs as I goes up the stairs. What are the rest of you doing?
I'm going to lean against the front wall of the building outside and just...
Stand watch?
Yeah, look a little bit intimidating.
I'm going to stand next to Cal.
Okay, so two of you are inside. Roll perception checks, the two that are inside.
It's a bold return.
Yeah, but it's a good one. I think you've got to push through it. That's a 22.
It's 22.
I have a dirty 20.
And a dirty 20. Okay, what you can hear is in the bar area where you would have been, where you had been before, there is some grumblings. You can hear the shape of the sound And then occasionally the edges of words, the last and first syllables, or anything that's being particularly emphasized. And you hear, well, it's very easy for them. This sort of rumbling. Let's have perception checks from the two outside, and then we'll come back to you at the base of the stairs.
5.
5.
12.
12. What you see, this is a tavern that is set on the outskirts, and it looks out over the fields. And you're seeing people pull crops that aren't quite ready to be pulled, wrapping them up, trying to do their best to preserve them. You can see that whole families have suddenly gone out into the fields. Whether things are going to be over the next few days sort of pickled or dried or cured or stored, that's what that activity seems like to you. And roll perception as you go up the stairs, please. Hi.
2.
A 2. You're starting to creep up these stairs. Roll me stealth.
16.
16. You don't hear anything as you're moving up these stairs. No footfalls up here or conversations. Go down to the two of you who are still inside, Radiant and Calness.
I want to just kind of surreptitiously get closer so I can hear a little bit more what people are talking about, but without being seen.
Totally. I think we said that there was a frosted glass door that led into this tavern, so you can get closer to that glass door. I'll say you can roll perception with advantage as you tune that out.
That's 23.
23. You hear two voices. You hear Tommen's voice, and you also hear the voice of the dwarf who stood on the fountain and said, I'm not leaving a winter crop. Mouse might be home for some, but it's not home for me. And you hear Tommen's voice first. Everyone who leaves, it is... They may as well take everything from me. What can I do now? Huh? How much money will I make with half the fields empty? Well, not everyone's going to be gone, are they? Look, I mean, it's... You don't have to go. You stay or you go. I've said it's not enough for me to stay. They're just having a conversation about what's happened. There's nothing salacious or significant that you hear beyond two people who know each other bemoaning the situation.
We're wasting time. Why don't you go and ask?
Ask what?
Which room he was in? Are we sneaking around?
We don't know who knows that we had the altercation with him last night, and who might be siding with him.
Towns like this talk. Listen, I've got an idea.
You go up you go up the stairs, and there's like a large landing
And I sense a disturbance.
with 7 doors.
Yep.
One directly in front of you, one sort of 3 directly in front of you along the back wall, and then 2 to your right-hand side, and then 2, one behind you and one behind you to your left. If you imagine that as the stairs come up, it sort of brings you halfway into this large landing. 3 in front of you, 2 to your right, 1 behind you, 1 to your left.
Okay. I'm going to try the one furthest from this point of entry.
Cool. That is in the sort of far corner on the right. You try the door and the door is locked.
Okay. Thieves' tools. I'd like to...
So roll me a dexterity check.
15.
15. You feel this smooth motion of the pick in the lock. It slides into place. There's this ever so satisfying as the mechanism gives way.
I just slowly open, and I'm just going to peer and make sure that there's no person.
Roll me a perception check.
17.
There's a neatly made bed. There is a set of heavy black boots. And a travelling case at the foot of the bed.
Okay, I'd like to go over to the travelling case, and I'm just going to open it.
It's locked.
little thieves' tools, baby.
Roll me another.
10.
10. The lock breaks in there.
The lock.
Sorry, the lockpick.
the
The lockpick fails.
Okay.
With a 10, it's not failed so disastrously that you have lost it completely.
I'm going to go over to the window, open the window,
Yep.
and I'm just going to take out the little bit of rope, tie it, and I'm just going to lower the case.
Roll me. You would know from your sense of your internal geography, the entry point to this tavern is the north side of it. You are currently, it's the south side of it. You are currently dropping it out of a window on the north side. Just so you're aware. Roll me a stealth check.
That is a dirty 20.
Okay. Silently. The only slight sound is this sort of gentle creak of the rope as it first takes the strain.
So I'm just gonna then kind of stand there with the rope and kind of go, oh shit, okay, what do I do with the rope? So I'm just gonna lean out and let the rope go.
Roll another stealth.
That is a 29.
Beautifully done.
Yeah.
Beautifully done. It dropped the snow helps here. Because rather than like clattering onto stone or cobble or it falls into this falls with this sort of muffled sound as it falls into the snow.
Okay. Very pleased with myself. I'm going to make my way back out. I'm going to close the door behind me and make my way back to where Radian and Kel.
You're at the bottom of the stairs, Radian and Kel. Radian has just said,
I've got a great idea.
And then I turns up and just goes,
I might have found something. I might have stolen from just a person.
What?
Yes.
What have you done?
Well, there is a case outside. I could not pick it now, but I thought maybe I could try again in a bit.
What do you mean the case is outside?
It's...
Why do you not have the case with you?
I did not think.
So you went into a random person's room. Where's the case? You just threw it outside?
Oh, no, I is not foolish. No, I had rope, so I had rope, so I lowered, sneaky style.
And you handed it to Dolly and...
To a bush, I think.
roll perception checks, Dolly and Elowen.
16.
Okay.
12.
Okay. Neither of you heard the case being lowered.
There was boots.
That could be anybody's boots.
Roll investigation on the boots.
15.
They were the same style of boots as Iago wore. Iago wore heavy black boots.
But they felt right. They felt like him.
I'm just trying to get my head around why. I'm so sorry. I'm just trying to get my...
Just trying to understand it.
It's like, listen, we all do foolish things. I've done foolish things. Why do you not have the bag with you right now?
I didn't want to be seen carrying it from the room. So I risked being seen lowering.
I mean, it's not without merit.
Well, let's go and get it.
Let's go find it. Let's see what's...
I also has the whip
What?
in my bag. You was not here.
Thank God.
I has the whip in my bag.
What are you going to do with the whip?
I will think that through another time.
You hear footsteps. Do you hear that? And footsteps starting. Someone there! Starting to make their way from the tavern into the area where you are. You have time to get out.
Yeah, I is just going to, just nod and slip out the door.
Stealth check.
14.
14. What do you guys want to do? Do you want to stay? Do you want to stealth?
I'm gonna scooch out as well.
Stealth check.
16.
20.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. You hear these footsteps approaching as one of the dwarves is making their way towards where you are, but quick as a flash, you're out the door.
Did you find it?
I think I found something.
And I'm going to run round the corner.
What do you mean something?
I'm going to run round the corner, and you see I come back round the corner with the rope, having not really thought it through, holding the rope, just looking at you, and then and then just starts pulling on the rope to drag it, and then eventually.
Did you throw that out the window?
No, I did not throw it out the window. I lowered it out the window.
Very smart, yeah.
Like a numpty. Why? Let's take this some.
What is an empty?
It's not a metaphor.
Okay.
Are you sure it's even his?
There were boots.
Open it. Open it now,
Not here,
in
not
case we
here,
need to
not
give
here.
it back to
I
whoever
stood
acted.
in front of the tavern. Let's go.
Open it.
Yeah, but I might have just stolen someone else's.
Fine.
We said
Pull out another
Yep.
lockpick. And, yeah.
right here in front of the tavern.
Yeah.
In for a
That
penny,
is
in
a
for a pound.
21.
Yeah, it clicks open. Roll me a d6.
God. 2.
You find a coin purse with 20 gold, and then you find a book which looks to be a ledger of debts. You also find a couple of decks of cards in there. Dolly, roll me investigation on the cards with advantage.
30-20.
These are trick decks where it's very easy to force cards.
I want to take one.
And you find a ledger of debts, and some of them have been crossed out. A load of names you don't recognize for amounts. Oh, you can't read it.
Well, this is useless.
I just take the book off it.
It's debts of names you don't recognize. 20 silver here, 10 gold, 5 gold. And then there is one to Pennick Winter von Ven, and there is a whole section of the book which is simply devoted to the incremental gains. 200 here, 400 here, 600 there. And by the time you get to the last entry, it's 4,800 gold.
His dad might need to sell a few more books.
Does you think there is something of use with this?
Well, unless we bump into somebody with a gambling debt, I'm probably not going to know anybody in this book.
And I am going to close the case and look around at the group, and then going to hands it to Dolly and say,
I think it suits you.
Thank you.
It is metal as hell. It's lined red silk interior, slightly over elaborate fastenings. It's a nice travel case.
Thanks.
Can't wait to swap that around
I
with
put it
me.
into the bag of holding.
Avocado.
and I just goes, wait, before you put it in the bag of holding, and I undo the rope.
Oh, yeah.
And then I just start winding up 50 meters of rope.
Okay, so can we go?
Let's go.
Yes,
Yeah?
Yeah, now that I is happy,
we has a book.
Good to get closure, right?
20 more gold. You're not having it.
I don't want it.
Good. Dolly and I will have it.
Yes.
No,
So that's our wine
I
fund.
will has it.
Trust me, it's better off if Dolly and I have a wine fund. Everyone benefits.
So, this is going to be quite a long journey. You leave Yannick, heading northwest, sort of northwest-west. And as you get west of Yannick, the terrain of Mab begins to change. On the first day, the meandering pathways and the easy slopes that you encountered as you were making your way from Mouse to Yannick, they are replaced by these sudden sharp cliffs and wide ravines. It's a land that looks as if it was formed by some kind of divine violence. But the vibrant colours of the foliage that cover it remain. So there are winter flowers blooming on the trees. And as you look up, as you pass through a set of cliffs midway through your first day, you see these trees are growing even in the cliffs themselves. These roots that have pushed their way into minute cracks in the rock face. So they seem to grow from the cliffs, hundreds and hundreds of feet above you. And we're going to sort of fast travel through that first day. Is there anything that anyone wants to do on the road as you make your first day of traveling? And the answer can always be no.
Yeah.
I think after everything, it's head down. It's kind of what's next, rather than.
Oh, I do want to read my book.
You want to read your book?
Please read the book. Please. Yeah.
Are you reading that by the campfire?
Yes.
What'd you
say
get?
you reading it while walking?
What is it? What's the modifier for this?
It's an intelligence.
Straight intelligence. Plus 0 is 16.
16. It's a pass.
Yeah!
Yay!
Okay. Starting to get my way.
Starting to get there.
Is this by the campfire?
Yes.
Can I come over to you whilst you're reading?
Yeah, please do.
What are you reading?
This book Torian gave me. I mean, it's really boring, to be honest, but I'm trying to make my way through it, and I think I'm starting to crack it, just about. I mean, it's just, yeah, it's not the kind of thing I'd usually read, but...
Not much of a reader.
Oh, I actually was. Yeah. That was kind of all I had to do when I was growing up. There weren't a lot of people around to talk to, but I've kind of lost that passion, I guess, as I grew up.
I don't show this to many people, but see if you can have a look at this. And he pulls out his own spell book from his pack and just pass it to you. Take a look at that.
So you're a reader?
I suppose they had to be.
Why?
When I came home, I had a lot of time by myself. Alone. And in the room that I spent a lot of time, there were a lot of books. And there were a lot of things that didn't come very easily to me, but one of them was reading. And I just passed the time reading stories, things about a world that I didn't really understand.
What sort of stuff did you read?
There was one story that really resonated with me. It was about a young boy who ran away from home and went on all these amazing adventures. And every single day would come home and he'd share them with his family. And each day he'd go a little bit further away, and a little bit further away. And each time he'd go a little bit further away, his family would love him a little bit more. And then there was this one time where the little boy went too far. And one day the little boy didn't come back. And the family was sad because they loved the little boy.
What happened to him?
The little boy, well said, the last few pages in the book, they didn't exist.
Did you ever try writing the end yourself?
I like to imagine that he eventually came back. I like to imagine that he had an amazing life, that he went on to do amazing things. And I'd write them down. I'd write them in that book. And then I just started writing other things. And And so it's a collection of spells, thoughts, wants, needs, desires. Anyway, it's just stupid stuff anyway. Half of it doesn't work most of the time.
I stopped reading, but I never lost the love of it. And I always thought one day I'd try writing. Never really had the time. Things happen, life happens. But I like the idea. Telling stories out of nothing. And a blank page is the most excited. The most exciting thing, because you can put anything down there. It can be anything. Characters can be and do anything. I like to think that's where we are now.
I like to think we could do anything, but sometimes I feel like we have no choice. Do you not feel that sometimes? We're at the mercy of greater things.
No, because that's how I've lived for the last I don't know how many years. And it's like, now we're off the grid. I feel hopeful for the first time in a long time. And that hope is coupled with the most terrified I've ever been. But there's freedom in that. I like to think that's a good sign.
Thank you for not letting me die.
Not ready to let you go. And you've done it for me enough times.
I needed to be honest, though. I was quite angry when you did.
I had a feeling. But you need to know. You need to find out.
I know. I didn't really have anything worth living for before you guys, so I'm just getting used to it.
I'm gonna find the end of that story.
Maybe.
We will.
Or maybe we'll write it for ourselves.
Calnus has been snoozing and he wakes up with a start. I had a terrible dream.
What were you dreaming about?
I was being pursued.
Why?
By a person from my past. Do you ever have frustration dreams?
Oh, all the time.
This was like that. But it felt more.
Who'd be foolish enough to chase you?
The docent told me that someone from my past was looking for me. This person, I harmed them.
If you harmed them, Kel, I can only assume they deserved it.
No. No, they did not deserve it. But I feel that they are angry with me. I fear meeting them.
What'll happen when they catch up with you?
I do not know.
We'll be here for you, if they do.
What were you talking about?
Oh, just nothing important.
Book stuff.
Here's that text.
For those listening, Dolly just threw the book at Radian, and he ineffectively caught it.
It was a very good bit of physical work.
Fumble.
And that night you rest. And the next morning you wake and you hit the road again. And the road leads you through a broad valley. And the valley meets the river, a tributary of the Seraphine that you crossed over when you first entered this woods. And like the Seraphine itself, it's bright blue. This bright, vibrant blue which seems all the stranger as this valley opens up. White snow, sheer dark cliff with these limbs of trees stretching out from it, peppered with colourful blooms, and then at the centre of it, blue, like a perfect pigment.
It's odd, but it's certainly beautiful.
It's going to grip Radiant's coat and just go, "Don't go in."
And I'm just going to grip I and be like, don't do it.
And the road winds along the course of the river. And at times it leads you right along the water's edge. And other times the path kind of brings you up a little rise, and so 20 feet below you is the river. But it flows fast and it flows opaque. And as your path moves down to meet it again, roll me perception checks. Dolly.
Just threw it and it hit there.
Wow, you missed
let me use this.
You missed a tray that I would say is 20 centimetres across.
And next to you.
And next to you, yeah.
It was on the other side of a table.
A 13 from Dolly.
18.
18 from I.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20 from
21.
21.
16.
Feeling perceptive.
All of you, apart from Dolly,
Because she missed the tray.
because she missed the tray and I'm arbitrarily punishing her, see something break the surface of the water. The edge of a creature. Like a... It's hard to tell if it's a fin or if it's a wing or if it's a... Anyone with a 20 or over, you see, it's like almost as if a bat wing, a great bat wing, goes over the surface of the water.
I would like to use shape water. Funnily enough. And just where that wing was, I want to just change the opacity and the colour and just have the water be totally transparent.
You're walking alongside this river, right? And as you do that,
It's only in a 5-foot cube, though.
yeah, and you center it. Do you want to center it on the wing, or do you want to center it on where you feel like the center of the mass of the creature would be?
I don't think I'd really know where the centre of the mass
Sure.
of the creature would be, so I just kind of go, from
Yep.
around where the wing was.
You watch as the water, this thing sort of moving along with the flow of it, starts to fade, almost like that door way back in Baroon. It lightens, becomes paler and paler and paler, until, as it's sweeping past you, is purely transparent, perfectly clear, and a set of frog-like eyes are locked on yours eye. And in the moment you see it, it sees you, and it flies up out of the water. Everybody roll initiative. Go ahead, I.
17.
17 from I. Sorry, I should have done anyone over a 25. Anyone over a 20?
23.
Anyone higher than a 17?
18.
18 from Radiant, a 17 from I. Go ahead, Kel.
17.
17 as well from Kel. Your dex is 3
Plus
and your
5.
dex is 5, or your dex is 4 and your dex is 5? And then Dolly?
9.
9.
My voice is going.
Okay. Elwyn, that's your turn. You all see this. And it's like a great... large frog with bat wings and a tail with a stinger on the end that comes up out of the water. Everybody roll investigation checks. Kel roll with advantage. Or it can be investigation or nature, I don't mind which. Kel with advantage.
Oh, gosh. Nature it will be.
Mm-hmm. So, Dolly, what did you get?
16.
16. I?
21.
21.
Utterly shocked by this thing. I rolled a 2.
Elowyn's 2 radiant?
10.
10?
19.
19. None of you have any idea what this is. You have never seen anything like this. This is not a creature you have seen in any of your travels. You've never seen it written down in books. You don't know what this thing is. Elowyn, that's your turn.
I'm going to take my bow now and I'm going to hold action.
Okay.
And I'm just going to shout to someone like... I suppose I'm going to shout to Dolly, who is my usual go-to when anything's going tits up, and just be like, ever seen this before?
No. What the heck is this thing?
Do we think we're going to attack it?
Let's see what happens.
What have you done?
I was trying to help.
What are you holding your action for?
Essentially, if I think it's going to attack one of
Okay,
us.
it's got to be a specific trigger. So what if it moves towards you? If it opens its mouth? If it flies? Do you know what I mean?
If it moves towards us aggressively.
If it moves towards you aggressively, fantastic. Radiant, that is your turn. You are. I would say the path has meant that you are 5 feet from the very edge of the river, and it's a 15-foot wide river. So this thing is around in the middle of it. So it's about 12.5 feet from you.
I don't think Radiant is as he's not as good as you.
I know.
I'm going to cast a spell which I have only tried on water before. And I've thought, you know what, it's water adjacent. I'm going to cast Slow, which is a 3rd level transmutation spell. I alter time around up to 6 creatures of my choice. I cast it on my friends.
Right, that's canon.
Yeah.
No such thing as a joke. You simply can't take
You
it
said
back.
we were friends. That's nice.
The affected target's speed is halved. Each target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw.
Okay, well, in that case, it will roll a wisdom saving throw. It has a +1, and your spell save DC is a 15 or a 14?
It is a 15.
A 15, so it needs to roll a 14 or higher. It rolled a 12, becomes a 13.
Fantastic. So, the affected target speed is halved. It takes a -2 penalty to AC and dexterity saving throws and can't use reactions.
Okay, lovely.
Nice.
And then -2 penalty to to saving throws and...
-2 penalty to AC and dex saving
And
throws.
dex save.
It can't use reactions. On its turn, it can either use an action or a bonus action, but not both.
Oh, okay, cool. Cool. Action /
It can't make more than 1 melee or ranged attack during its turn. If
Okay.
the creature attempts to cast a spell with a casting time of 1 action, roll a d20. On an 11 or higher, the spell doesn't take effect until the creature's next turn.
Okay. Bloody love that for me.
And the creature must use its action on that turn to complete the spell. If it can't, the spell is wasted.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Lovely. That is I's turn.
It's an instinctive. I just straight fire a shot.
I shoot the chandelier above it.
Love this for us.
Sorry, I forgot to say this is a closed set. So
Oh, God damn it. That is a 14.
and it hits.
Okay.
Not slow.
1d...
In fact, it would have hit anyway.
Where's my 1d8? There it is.
It's just a big frog bat.
That is 9. And then with my sneak attack... No, sneak attack.
No, because you don't have...
No one's in range. I just immediately, instinctively went for it, because people usually are.
And I would like to do more damage.
Frogbat was just living life.
Yeah.
And you went over and poked it, FYI.
Excuse me, someone has already cast
He's
a
living in a
spell on
river,
it.
Frogbat.
Yeah.
Don't bother him.
We're in his world now.
And then I am going to obviously attempt to move back into some foliage and
Yeah,
hide.
there's foliage. There's little rocks all along the side of this river, so you can roll a stealth.
That is a 25.
Yeah, it doesn't have a passive perception of 25, so
Yeah.
you are successfully hidden from it. That is Kelness's turn.
Okay, well, I see. I take this shot, and I presume that I can see that it's been slowed by whatever radiant.
Yeah, I would say you see the effects. You see the effects of what Radiant's done, and it's then hit by this bolt. You see that it's taken some damage.
Slip that past you, and as I hide, I just go, sorry.
Oh, sorry. You wake it
So I
up. You
think-
make it angry, then you disappear.
Yeah, really. So I think I can only assume that it's either going to run away or attack us now. So I have a go at it with my sling.
Oh, why are you not using the poo spell?
It doesn't exist.
Make an attack with
It's
your
not
make
real.
an attack with your poo sling.
My poo sling. Yes. Well, first I take a poop.
Everyone I'd like to hold my action until Kelness has pooed.
It's what I did. I didn't think that.
Roll
would
me
be
a
right.
Constitution saving throw.
It's going to be a big poo as well. I had no.
You prolapse!
On a nat one.
Oh my god!
Oh no, in that one
Don't
poo.
you won't know.
I don't know what to tell you.
You won't know. You started this.
It's a critical prolapse.
You can't decide this has all been too much. And all of
I rush over to him. I search in my bag for some Anusol.
I cast invert prolapse.
Oh, there's your trailer. It's just a little bat frog.
frog.
Okay, attack with your sling.
How can we make more of a meal
The
out
mad
of this
thing
than
is,
we've just done in
of all the silly stuff we said, invert prolapse feels like a spell. Like it feels like a spell where I'd be like, it's quite a controversial one. It's in Xanathar's. A lot of DMs ban it because it's OP. Because it doesn't technically say it's your prolapse. You can do it to anyone.
Yeah.
It has a range of touch.
But if there's an invert prolapse, then there's like a cause prolapse.
Yes, there is. Yeah, no, it's just called,
So you
it's called
prolapse.
prolapse, of course.
Cast cause prolapse
Yeah, yeah.
on somebody,
That's a
and
cantrip,
their
though.
ass just turns itself inside out.
It's a beautiful thing.
We've made such a meal out of this.
Sorry,
What a beautiful image. Thank you.
Oh, that's the image. That's the image. After everything we've just done, that's where you want to draw the line.
That's a 19.
Hits.
Great.
1d4 plus 3.
Dare I ask where?
Where what?
Where it
Dare
is.
I?
Right, yes.
It takes plus 3 fecal damage.
That's 7 damage.
7 damage, okay. Dolly, that's your turn. Unless there's anything else you'd like to do.
Nope.
Great. Dolly.
Just gonna look at it and be like, Frogbat, living in a river.
And that's it. That's her turn. There's nothing else.
And I cast
Roll me a
dissonant
performance.
whispers.
I am casting this.
Hey, go back.
It's a wisdom saving throw.
That's an 18 on the die, I'm afraid.
Oh, motherfucker.
Well,
Well,
you roll
it's
well
still-
on saves against
Yeah.
you, it seems.
It's still half damage, and it doesn't have to move away, so that would be 3d6. So it's 5, 6, so it's 3 damage.
3 damage.
That's singing frog bat.
I'm gonna look at that and be like, Frogbat, living. Bardic inspiration.
Who have you given it to?
Ellen.
Owen. Okay. That is the creature's turn. It opens this wide mouth filled with jagged teeth, and it starts to
It's not cute anymore.
fly with intent towards Radian. Elowin, you hold
Oh,
your
hell
action.
yeah. I'm gonna longbow it and see if it works.
Mm-hmm.
But it won't because that's a nat one. But
Okay.
I can take my second.
Yep.
No, yeah.
Yep.
Does that mean you prolapse?
But it is a 16 that hits. Shut up. Next time, you know what? Actually, I'm not going to do anything. Frogbat can fly it.
You know what? Go on, have a go.
Stop doing weird shit.
I'm not the one with the prolapse.
You might be if Frogbat gets to you. That is a D8. That is my D8. That is a 4, 5, 6, 7. Hits for 7.
7 damage.
But that also slows Frogbat.
Even more?
Yes,
Okay.
because it's hit for slow.
course.
So he reduces his speed by 10 feet until his next. Till the start of my next turn.
Till the start of your next turn. Let me just see this thing's speed. So it was that, which then became.
Which is next.
Sick.
It was that became that now loses 10 to become that. Okay.
So he's real
I'm
slow.
actually I'm quite pleased with that. Okay. And that was how much damage again? Sorry?
7.
7. Okay. He has a fly speed of 50. It's been halved to 25. It's then had 10 reduced to 15. I specifically said you're 12 and a half feet from him at the beginning. The first thing it does is it's hit by a crossbow bolt, then it's hit by a pebble, then it's hit by an arrow, and it opens this mouth and goes and shrieks. Can everyone roll me Constitution saving throws?
I just like the idea of you're just in range. This thing just very slowly makes its way towards Radiant, who just stares at it the entire way.
It's a DC 12 Constitution saving throw.
Fuck.
I rolled
What?
12.
12.
You pass. Yeah, so
Oh, yeah.
It's, it's meet and beat.
Meet and beat.
Yeah.
18.
18?
18.
13.
13. Everybody passes! You're now immune to that for 24 hours. Now, in this thing's card, it says uses its shriek and then makes 1 or 1 attack. So 1 and 1 attack. So I'm going to reduce one of the attacks. I'm going to say that's an ability rather than attack. Mm-hmm. So what it does is it then it sort of flies like a slow bullet. It flies very fast at you, and then you can see as it's flying fast at you, its eyes widen as it realizes weirdly it doesn't have the energy to fly past you. So stops at you and is going to make a bite attack at you. That is a 9. That fails,
That
is it?
fails,
Oh, okay,
right,
cool,
yeah.
cool. That is its turn. Back to the top of the order. That's Elowen. This thing is now right up in Radiant's business.
How close am I to Radiant?
How close would you be to Radiant? We haven't established where anyone else is
I
really.
think we're really close at the moment. Like, we're
Do you
really
want me to
getting
be?
on.
You
I
really
think,
want to be
I
pretty
think it would
close.
be reasonable that you're all walking together.
shut.
You're in a sort of 10 feet square of one another.
I like to think we're like the mighty ducks in the flying V. We're like, you're all behind me, ready to
Ducks
go.
fly together.
You know what? And
Ducks
that's
fly
exactly where
together.
the wizard should be. The front of the V. Would I be close enough to essentially physically attack, short sword it? Rather
Yeah, of
than,
course. You also
yeah.
have movement. Like you'd have
so-
no issue.
Imagine
I don't know,
that I'm
like, if
Kate
it's
Winslet and
up
you're
or-
Leonardo DiCaprio.
No, it's got to be at his height
I
in order
suppose
to
to bite
attack
him,
him. So
yeah.
even if it was 5 feet above him, the reach on your sword is 5 feet.
Fine. That's 20.
Hits.
Not natural, sadly. So that hits for 11.
Cool.
And that is 22. Mm-hmm. And that hits for 11. Mm-hmm. That is 16. Mm-hmm. And that hits for 10. No, 9.
Flaying
9.
this thing.
Wow. Yeah.
9.
She's carving some sashimi up with this big frog bat that was also.
Oh, yeah,
swimming.
sashimi from Frogbat. That's exactly what you want.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realise there was a real frog bat that everyone ate. I was trying to be cute.
We've made a complete meal of this battle, to be quite honest with you.
Radiant, that is your turn. Roll me a wisdom saving throw with disadvantage.
11.
Okay. Nothing happens. Take your turn.
Because it's right up in my business,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
Do I roll with disadvantage on
You roll with disadvantage on
attack?
ranged attacks within 5 feet,
And it's,
which includes ranged spells.
Yeah.
So were you to move away from it, you would take 1 opportunity attack. unless it says, no, it can't take opportunity attacks because it can't take reactions because of slow. So actually you can move out of range of it and
Oh, because
create...
it's really, really slow. Okay, that's cool.
Super slow.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'll back up.
Yep. Whoa, backing up.
I was gonna say, oh yeah, the V. The V.
The V becomes a W.
By myself. Thanks.
I'm backing all this. I'm like,
That's very good. It's such a shame this is an audio medium for at least half
yeah,
our
imagine
viewership.
like a cool guy backing up. That's me.
Exactly what's
But
happening.
just like make it a real hash of it.
So thrilled I'm by myself with Frogbat.
I'm not going to waste too much on this boy. I'm just going to cast Toll the Dead because I haven't used that in a while.
Constitution saving throw? Or
That is a
saving throw?
wisdom saving throw.
It has a +1.
If you touch anything in the river
It
again,
rolled a natural 20.
Then it takes half of this damage.
I would suggest it takes 0 on a cantrip.
It takes 0 damage.
Is that
from
true?
It. That is 100%. I just thought I would try.
You just thought you'd chance your arm. I just
and
thought
Too
I'd
good.
cheat a little.
I'm backing up.
But listen, we can't stress this enough. He looks
up.
good
But also, like
backing up.
no one sees me. No one sees me like try and cast Toll the Dead. So I'm like, guys, I'll leave this one to you for a bit.
That is the character, not the me's turn.
Seeing Elowin now just sort of face to face with this thing, and seeing Radiant back up, feeling a little bit guilty for maybe kind of instigating some of this, I is just gonna pull out both daggers, sprint at this thing,
Yep.
double leap,
Yep.
and I just wants to like try and stick in both daggers and kind of just be on this thing.
do not ride it. Do not ride it.
So you can
Ratatouille.
make 2 attacks with your daggers,
Yeah.
and then we'll tell me which one's your regular and which one's your offhand.
Okay.
So the first attack is with your regular dagger attack.
Yep, that is a 17.
Okay, so that hits, and then the next one is your offhand, right? So roll that attack for me.
It's just a 5 because I don't get my.
You add it to the attack. You don't add it to the damage. Is my understanding of the offhand attack.
Okay. Oh, yes, I don't get the plus. I
You don't get the
five.
plus.
That's- sorry, yes.
So all you do is you get the raw die roll as the
Yeah,
damage,
yeah,
but you
yeah.
still make the attack,
Yeah. So then that is a 13.
which wouldn't have hit, but slow is active, so
Okay,
it does hit.
great.
So roll me
1d4 plus 5 on the first one.
2d4 and add 5.
Yeah. Where's my other d4? There it is.
Because yeah.
That is 7 plus 5. So that's 12.
12.
I hate quick maths.
And I'm just going to try and cling on.
You wanna hang on to it.
I've stuck both daggers in and I'm just kind of holding on to both daggers.
You have an ally within 5 feet.
Oh, of course, I get my sneak attack.
Your little scooper-doopy sneak attack.
Yeah. I was so focused on the idea of like just
Clinging to a bat.
hanging on to this
It's like a
thing.
little
Clinging
lizard
to
has
a
run out
frog bat.
screaming with 2 knives, like
9, 10.
10 damage. Okay. And then you want to essentially sort of hold onto it like it's some kind of jet ski.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got this.
Roll me an acrobatics
like a
check.
night at the saddle ranch. Thank you, Aoife. But a very, very small percentage of people will get that.
18.
An 18. Why the hell not? Yeah, you're like you've dug 2 daggers
tail
into it.
is-
And as the tail, I'm gonna say it will be able to make attacks with its stinger on you with advantage because you are hanging out the back
Yeah.
of it. Not like that. But you are effectively hanging out the back of it.
Use the prolapse.
There we go. Hell
yes,
this!
the
Inverted! So that is Kel's turn.
Okay, I cast Primal Savagery.
Yeah, I like this spell a lot, man.
Fun.
18.
Yeah, hits.
Hit. 2d10s. A 0 is a 10, right?
Yep.
Yeah. 19.
19. Kel. Tell me about it. That is exactly how many HP this thing had left.
Well, I see the little lizard bravely screech and dive onto the back of this thing and plant himself on it. And I think I can do better. And I
That's what it is, really, competition.
I cast the spell, and my claws, my fingers sprout claws, long dripping acid, and I leap into the face of it, and I dig my fingers into its eyes and rip them out. And then I slash across its throat, and I stuff its eyes in its mouth. And then I stand back and I laugh.
Eyeball juice everywhere.
Yeah. It's the worst thing any of you have done so far.
This entire time, I is just trying to look over the top.
Hi, can you, as he drops it, can you roll me a dex saving throw?
Yeah. That is a 17.
Yeah, okay. You hit the deck hard, but you manage to roll out of it because as Kel goes, puts the eyes back in the mouth, the thing drops like a stone, and you, still stuck to the back of it, drop with it. And just as your face is about to hit the dirt, you manage to pull one dagger out and sort of roll out and take the impact away. And you guys are out of combat.
I'm really glad I backed up.
You don't touch the water ever again.
We all want to know what it was in the water.
No. We don't all want to know what is in the water.
No.
But things is there to be known.
No, known maybe, but not gouged, prolapsed, everything else that we just did to that thing.
What is
Which,
this
to be
word?
fair, it wasn't doing anything.
He was just living his life.
Now it's dinner.
I just
I'm
wants
not
to
eating
see
that
it.
frog.
I just wants to look at it, and then it just jumps us.
What was it, though?
No idea.
Frog bat,
Frog bad.
Where did it come from?
The river.
But did we not see it when strange?
I will say it would be more surprising to not know what the hell this is. This doesn't even have. You can see as you can see where it's been like cut open. Such it doesn't even have the same basic biology. Like it seems to have this great capacious stomach, and then very little else in there.
Can I go over and see if I can investigate it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, see if I can make anything
Yeah.
out.
Where to go if you lick anything.
So I put my tongue to it.
Yeah.
But this isn't the first
Which
time.
simple. It's how they found penicillin, right? You just put your tongue to everything until something works, right?
Hear me out. It's better this way. So I kneel down with my tongue with disadvantage, obviously, because I'm doing it with my
Are
tongue.
you actually doing it with your tongue?
No, I'm doing it with my hand.
Okay, you can do it with your tongue, baby. Don't clip that.
Am I going to do it with my tongue?
No!
Why would you?
Why would you
Why
lick,
would
why
you?
would
That
you
doesn't
lick
even
frog
make
badges?
sense.
You can do it with your
That would
Because
just give
I
it
taste is a
willfully
sense
weird.
as well. Like,
Yeah, and I get that's how they used to test for diabetes, but we don't do it now.
we're being freaky. I'm doing
You're
it.
being,
You are.
You're being freaky.
Are you going to do it with your tongue?
I'm going to. No, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do it with my hand.
Okay.
Then I'm going to taste it.
Okay.
Because that's much better.
I find absolutely nothing weird about this, by the way.
No, we know.
It's going to be like a snip. It's going to be like that.
Okay.
It's a natural 20.
That's funny.
And also I have a +7 to
Where was this yesterday?
investigation.
I am not pulling another card out of that deck for you.
No, leave him. Leave him this time.
Oh my god.
Leave him where he is.
Harry's not laughing.
So
You're in trouble.
So I go down like that. And I put my hand in. And I try and smell what this is, and I taste it. And something comes to me.
Radiant.
You're dead.
All of a sudden, blackness.
There's a moment when you touch this creature, and as you go to touch it, it's suddenly familiar. And you reckon, you as you're looking at it, you're like, you find yourself thinking, oh, that part's good to eat. As you look at a specific part of the biology of this creature, that part's good to eat. And then instinctively you bring that to your lips and you taste it. And you have a moment where you remember being sat by a bright blue river, hunting these creatures.
Cool. Hides that from everyone.
Roll me a deception or performance.
It's a nat 1.
Radian is shaken to his boots.
Is it gross?
Why did you do that?
What does it taste like? Why is he white?
I don't know what to say. And don't ask me now, please. Don't ask me why. But we can eat this.
Do you know this creature?
I don't know. Please don't ask me now.
Fine, we'll ask you later, but let's get away from it.
Which
It
part can we eat?
stinks. No, we're not eating it.
We can eat it. It's fine, it's safe, and we need the food. Please, I know I'm hard to trust sometimes, but just trust me on this.
I pulls out one of the daggers, gives it a little twirl, hands it to Radiant.
You fill it, this thing.
Yeah. Hand it to Kelness.
I will find some mushrooms. It would go well with this.
It's almost like a white. It's almost like it almost has like the texture of like monkfish, like a quite thick loin of this kind of white flesh that comes out of the very fetid-looking exterior. Roll me a perception or nature check, Calnis.
27.
You bring it to your nose. It smells as neutral as something from the water should.
This is going to be a good dinner.
Just go up and put my hand on Radiant's shoulder. I'm like, that's fine. Just remember what I said. Come on, let's keep moving. Just to sort of, I not snap you out of it, but just reassure you that we're not gonna keep pushing you.
And I just want to, like, hold out my hand for my dagger. And then as I go to take it, I want to gesture for you to kneel down. And I basically look you in the eyes and just say,
You has done good for the tribe. You brings food.
and I take the back of your head and I put your forehead against mine. And then I let go. I take my dagger. And I take a step back.
Good. Well, let's get going, shall we?
As we begin to walk off, I've packed all this into something in my pack. Strange though. In all my travels, I have never seen such a creature.
Where is this water flowing from?
Might I know that?
You would know that this is all fed by Lake Cova. It's all fed from Cova. There are 3 essentially waterways in Reliquiae. One from the north, from the Alanites. One from the south, starting in Cova at the base of the Alanites. This is where the Seraphine and its tributaries are fed from. And then there is the Seam, which is a river that flows from Mount Atria down and southwest towards Flint.
This river flows from, what did you call it? Coma?
Cova.
Cova. Flows from Lake Cova.
That's interesting.
Why?
Certain things wash up on the shores of Lake Cova. Certain troublesome, magical things sometimes wash up on the shores of Lake Cova.
Never mind. Let's keep moving.
How do you know that?
Because sometimes I do actually listen.
It's where I was found. Look, I can't piece it together either. I don't know what just happened. I get flashes sometimes. We don't have the time to worry about this. Let's just move on.
Already moving.
Yeah.
And you continue through this valley. The path takes you away from the river after a time. And this dry stone wall emerges between you and the riverbank. And the path between you goes from loose shale and frozen mud to these large sections of paved stone. You're getting closer to Vale, home of tieflings and stories and whispers. And the cliffs on either side of you begin to fall to the level of the road. And by that evening, you emerge onto a wide plateau. The blue water of the river runs downhill through a snow-covered plain where far in the distance it meets a larger river, the Seam. And widely thought of before now as a bright river, it seems strangely dark compared to the vivid blue of this little tributary that meets it. And that flows away from Atria and towards the dwarven mining city of Flint at the foot of the Alanites. And as it sweeps south the river, the Seam, its path is obscured by Vale, a city that's been built on the river's edge, scaling a rise that ends at a cliff hundreds of feet above the river. And you can see the city, and then just on the far reaches of your vision, as night starts to fall, you can see two bridges, one to the south and one to the north that cross the Seam. But it's another day's journey.
Want to rest before going any further?
Well, I does not know where I is going, so I follows you.
Well, our final destination, as I understand it, is the Sanctum. It's going to take another while to get there. It's whether we want to go straight for the Sanctum, which is going to take a while, or we stop off in Vale on the way. That's always an option too. But right now, we might want to rest before we go anywhere.
Better off resting here, where it's just us, than in another city where someone might recognize us.
We are very popular.
I think a rest is a good idea, and we have lots of fish. Frog, fish, bad thing. I look forward to going to Vale if we can. Lively, wonderful place. I love the stories. They tell good stories.
Vale, for those of you who've been. Elwyn, have you been to Vale?
As in Delian, yes. As Elowyn, no.
Okay. Kel and Dolly, Vale is like it would be to diminish it to say it's like a party city, but it is somewhere that is like full of life.
Alicante.
Yeah. No, thank you. That's exactly what I meant.
It's Alicante.
It's Alicante. It's Benidorm. It's Magaluf. It's whichever part of Ibiza's been ruined by the British. No, it's kind of hedonistic, but it's exciting. It's full of stories. You meet interesting people. There's always music. There's always something happening in
And
Vale.
they like my spoons.
And they love the spoons.
Everyone likes your spoons.
But they like my spoons.
They like anything that's, beautiful and well crafted.
Sparkly, shiny.
Maybe we can make some money with Steve Chase's Wood and Spoon, the original wooden spoon company.
That's not a bad idea.
A subsidiary of Ray Chase. Wood and Spoon. Okay, so you want to rest here, make some...
Yeah.
I want to read my book again.
You want to read your book again? Give us a roll. Give us a roll, yeah.
4.
Mate, this book is killing you.
I know.
I just need 3 successes. I think you've
I
rolled
know.
4 times and you've got one success so far.
I want to look for some vegetables and things to cook with this
Yeah.
strange meat.
Cool. So, roll me a survival check.
Nat 20.
Nat 20. Okay, so if I may take a little liberty here, you take a little bit of the fish, and you cook it, like a little morsel of it, and you taste it. You just get a little flavour profile for it. And what you realise is for all its like meatiness, it actually has quite a delicate flavour, and so you don't want to overpower it with anything. So what you find is a little bit of just the tops of a little wild garlic, and then you find these flowers that bloom late in winter, and they have a slight, almost citrus sweetness to them, a very, very gentle citrus. And then you find some other gentle herbs, soft herbs like verbena. And with a little bit of this wild garlic, you make a sort of a rub with some oil and you rub it on the fish to protect it. And then you wrap it in some parchment and bake it. And it comes out maybe 20 minutes later and it's flaky and unctuous, and each part of it seems to have just had the right amount of that rub permeate into the flesh. And it's the sort of thing that you've eaten in, they would have absolutely loved it at the Tipsy Scholar as a small bite on a spoon. But as is, it's a hearty meal for the 5 of you.
So I hand it out to everybody, and very proudly, I have made a masterpiece.
In fairness, every time you cook, you make a masterpiece.
Yes.
This might be the best one in a while, though.
You know what, Radiant? I still don't approve of you just licking things, but kind of glad we found out this was edible.
Yeah. Tastes good.
Tastes great.
I barely tasted it. It just,
Yeah.
No chewing, just...
yeah.
Yeah.
But it was wonderful.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
How could it not be?
And after I finish eating, I settle down to carve some spoons.
Great. Roll me a nature check.
A what check?
A nature check.
Nature.
A what check?
I'm sorry. A what? I said I was carving spoons.
No.
That's a 16.
A 16. Roll me 3d6.
Wow. What is that? Is that a 6 or 9?
It can't be.
Can't be a 9, Doug. It's a d6. Jesus.
Wow, is that a 9?
An exercise in always asking for more.
The first ever had to roll a 9 on a d6.
God, he's good.
It was that good.
He's that overpowered.
Overpowered.
So
His
OP.
stats are ridiculous. He already has a +10 to spoon carving, and the guy can roll a 9 on a d6.
I can see he's just scratched out numbers and just added new numbers on the die.
Why are the decimal points in some of those numbers, Doug? One of them says something squared. I can see it from here.
Wow, is that a 10?
That's a 13.
13. Okay, you carve in your downtime. Like you get into a rhythm. Sometimes
Groove, yeah.
you just get into a groove, and the wood that has been you're carrying around wood in order to make spoons quite a lot of the time, and it's just at that perfect level where enough of the moisture has left the wood that it still has a little bit of give. It's not too brittle, but it's perfect for working with. And you carve another 13 spoons that night.
Can I try and stealth some into, like, just into my pocket?
Absolutely. Roll me a sleight of hand check.
21.
21. Absolutely. Roll me 2d6.
Is that a 9?
That's 2 9s.
11.
11. You get 11 of those 13.
Oh my god! Where have all my spoons gone?
Not me.
Kel, you must have put them in your bag already.
I must have put them in my bag.
Can I see if I can see this?
She's only. Oh, did see if she's taken them. Yeah, you'd have to beat a 21 on a perception check. Yeah,
It's a natural 20. And I,
natural 20 works,
a
but
natural 20 and I have a plus 4 as well.
always succeeds.
Fuck's sake.
What are you doing?
Nothing?
What are you going to do with those spoons?
What? Nothing.
Goes into his own bag. Pulls out.
That she hasn't. Have you?
Not yet.
All she's done is
I-
she's. Yeah.
But I'm like,
I know what you're doing.
Roll me a d10. You can roll a d12. It doesn't matter.
4.
4. Without without looking in the bag, you pick up. You put your hand in and you pull out a random handful of anything, and it has 4 spoons in it.
Just trying to keep it interesting.
Well, they're going to go in my bag.
They weren't not going to.
I won't go and
Do I
this.
see him pull the spoons out?
Yeah.
of
At this point, why not? Yeah.
Why do you have my spoons, Radiant?
Yeah, why do you have his spoons, Radiant?
Roll me a performance check, Hollie, with advantage. You are so much more trustworthy than him as far as the rest of them are concerned.
That's, I mean, I rolled a 4 on the dice, but I do have a
With
plus 10.
with advantage.
So
2 4s.
Yeah.
Wow. Yes, it's
Yeah.
14. You can roll contested performance if you want.
With disadvantage?
No, there would be no need to. Because you're right.
I roll a 4.
Roll a
So-
4. Yeah. Fucking hell, guys. Radiant stole these damn spoons.
I didn't steal
You
this.
can just ask. I'm happy
Yeah,
to
why you
share my
take his
spoons.
spoons? That's really mean.
We shouldn't be stealing from careless.
Listen, Kelnis, I just think...
You like my spoons?
No, I just think if we're going to be working together in this spoon company, I wanted to make sure that I understood the product that we were selling.
Yeah.
So I took some of your spoons and I was investigating them to understand the properties so I'd better understand how we can
Be
sell
careful
these
he's not
spoons.
like trying to skim off the top, you know, like he's trying to make a profit on the side. He's trying
That
to do a
would
side
be
hustle.
mean.
Spoons, it would be mean.
I just
Really
leans
mean.
in and just goes,
Property is theft.
You just took someone's case and dumped it out of a window.
Yeah, but that person's dead.
The workers own the means of production.
I think this is important. If we are all going to be a part of Steve Chase's Wood and Spoon, the Reliquier's premier wooden spoon company, we need to understand more about these spoons.
Why not be honest about it, though?
I'm sorry that I was dishonest.
It's okay. I actually know that Dolly takes them and puts them in your bag.
Wait, what? That was a successful deception check, I'll have you know.
That one was. Yeah.
She's been doing it since we first went up Mount Adria.
And you didn't think to tell me.
I thought it was fun.
It is fun.
Did everyone else know this?
I did not.
no.
It is pretty fun. Better your bag than mine.
Why has no one been putting them in my bag?
Roll me an insight. Roll me an insight check, I.
9.
Yeah, it baffles you. This must be some kind of token
Yeah.
of friendship thing.
Yeah.
You've just learned about giving gifts. Why is no
Yeah.
one giving you any spoons?
I would,
Why is no one giving you stories in the shape of spoons?
I would like a spoon, maybe.
Okay.
Every once in a while.
Hands him 4 spoons.
I don't want it out of pity.
It's just,
That was pity spoons.
He can't read, but he can read the room.
We are all part of Steve Chase's Wood and Spoon, Reliquier's premier wood and spoon company. We need to understand these spoons. What do you see?
I want to reach out and grab one.
Yep.
And I want to take a look.
Yep. Roll me a. You can roll me insight or perception. You can roll, if you want to understand the spoon spiritually, you roll insight. If you want to understand the spoon aesthetically, you can roll investigation or perception.
8.
8.
Yep.
Yeah, spoon baby.
I looks around, not quite knowing what to say at all these people staring at him, wanting an insight on the spoon. And I takes it and puts it in his mouth and takes it out.
Down.
It's-
Not if you're eating peanut butter off of it.
That's true.
Oh, that's a good
and
point.
and just nods and says,
I likes this spoon.
Mouthfeel is important.
Mouthfeel is important.
You know what? You can be on quality control.
You must lick every spoon.
I must lick every spoon.
Every spoon.
Radiant opens your bag.
Open the bag.
The evening is spent with I licking each spoon.
Is the evening spent licking every spoon, or I go in?
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, I thought.
yeah.
I've got about 3 dozen in my
Yeah,
bag.
Just
you know,
occasionally, just on the ones which are a little less well made, just occasionally, and a little pulling of a splinter.
Little sliver of.
As if any of them are not well made.
There'll be the one or two that might have slipped through there. Maybe they got banged on other spoons
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Radiant's
And
bag.
this is why we need quality control.
Is I wearing glasses? he's furious and he's bespectacled. He's holding a clipboard.
And the lab coat.
His trousers are pulled up so high into. Anything else anyone wants to do this? Okay. As you rest, can everyone who isn't radiant roll me wisdom saving throws?
Not 20.
Nat 20.
Ooh, nat 20.
15, nat 20.
2.
Okay. And Delian, you sleep peacefully. Kel, I, and Dolly. You dream strange dreams. You dream of blue water. You dream of fields with colors you have never seen and can't describe. And as you wake, I and, you had a nat 20 and a nat 20. I and Calnis, you find yourself standing at the foot of a great tree. And you wake the next morning, still on that plateau.
Everybody sleep well?
Some weird dreams, but otherwise good.
Had some amazing dreams,
I had strange dreams as well.
and I does not normally dream.
At
What
all.
did you dream of?
Colors that I has never seen before. A tree,
A big tree.
very big.
I had the same dream.
Did you dream?
Of a tree? No.
What did you see?
Don't know, I think it was just because of that river that we saw yesterday, but a lot of blue water.
I saw this as well.
Well, it makes sense.
I
We saw a
saw
lot of blue
water
water.
as well.
What did you see?
Nothing. I slept well.
You?
Nothing.
Do you even dream? Don't you elves just trance or something?
Yeah, good point.
You does not. So you does not sleep.
It's difficult to explain.
Or meditation.
They don't need to sleep like we do.
How does you work?
To sleep is to rest your mind. We don't need to sleep to rest our minds.
So you never dream?
The mind can wander. And I think I proved that the mind can be changed.
I share with Kelnis, like, every little detail that I can remember from my dream.
It's fading the more the more, but it is just exactly as I said, blue water, colors, and then a tree,
Yeah.
at the base of a great tree.
It's very odd that we had the same dream.
We lived the same thing in our heads.
You are spending a lot of time together.
Yeah.
We're syncing up our dreams.
It's gonna happen.
I wonder if it has something to do with that creature.
I mean,
None of us knows what it was. We ate the flesh.
but I didn't dream.
Yeah, it's true.
And Dolly didn't dream what you dreamed. And you were next to that river yesterday.
I wouldn't worry about it. It's just dreams are just your mind making sense of stuff that happened that day.
And there was a lot of stuff to make sense of.
Maybe you're right.
Maybe.
Anyway, we got a lot of ground to cover.
Let's go.
Before we go, I want to sneak some spoons into I's bag and one into Radiant's bag.
Oh, roll me a sleight of hand check for both. First one for I.
That's 24
Absolutely.
and a 21.
Okay, so you get one into Radiance. How many are you trying to sneak into Eyes?
The rest.
The
that I
rest.
got.
So roll me a d10. Because you got 11, you put one in Radiance.
5.
Yeah, 5 of them in Eyes bag.
Onwards.
Where are you going, to the bridge or are you going to Vale?
Vale, baby.
You want to go to
Yeah?
Vale?
Party City.
Ooh.
I'd like to go to Vale.
Okay. So you head down the hill into this wide, snowy plain. And the ground on which the city of Vale is built rises as it nears the river's edge. And visible long before you reach the gates are the murmurs, which are towers of stories and secrets built on the highest edge of a precipice. And chief among them, and grandest of all, is a tower called Fable, which is the seat of the Elder of Grace, head of the Tieflings' strange, elusive religious order. those of you who've been to Vale before, roll me history checks, and Dolly can do so with advantage. 18 from Dolly.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20 from Cal.
21.
21 from Elowen. So you all... Vale is normally covered in bright colours. Just like the poets are these overlapping layers of coloured cloth. So the walls are festooned with banners and flags. And as you approach, all the flags are black. They move gently in this morning breeze, and you would all know that this is a city in mourning. This is a grieving city. Everything that Tieflings do is a little bit extra. In the towers on either side of the main gates would normally be stained glass windows, and these two have been covered up with black fabric so that none of that light spills onto the snow or illuminates the city within. In the vineyards and the flower farms that are beyond the city walls that have been left fallow over winter, there are black ribbons tied all along the vines, dozens, hundreds, thousands of them, and they catch the light as they move. And you approach the main gates, which are left open for those who are working the fields, those who live in the small collection of buildings. You move through these buildings, you see very few, but some still out there working the fields. And you enter Vale. Everyone roll me perception checks. Go ahead, Radiant.
7.
7.
That's only a 12.
12.
18.
5.
Yeah.
11.
11. 18. You hear Calness. What the other four of you hear and realize at first is how quiet it is. And then you hear Cal. Drums? Drums, and then the odd string plucked that reverberates high. And then voices. And it's coming from the murmurs and from Fable.
I'd like to try and follow the sound.
Maybe try and grab Kel's arm, just hold him back a little bit.
This is not normal.
Not much of a party city at the moment.
I'd wager the black is for Alakash.
It's weird to see the city like this.
We are the people, as far as they're concerned, responsible for Alakash.
Let's maybe keep a low profile.
We're famous for keeping a low profile. So,
Hoods up.
May I also remind us that we are famous for wooden spoons.
As you start to make your way through this first really meandering, clustered group of buildings and steps everywhere, little balconies, twisting. It's like a city that wasn't built like Barun was or like Escalon was to a grid with a sense of this is where this goes and this is where this goes. It has emerged gradually. You come across a placard pasted as if in haste onto a wall. And it's written in common, not in infernal. And it says, "The light must not be hidden. All must embrace it and kindle it so it may flourish. The dark streets are to be illuminated. Evil must be burned away."
What does it say?
And you repeat it to I. Kel, roll me an investigation check.
18.
Okay, there is a certain way that draconic hands form letters. This looks to you to be someone, it's like it's a different script. It's like someone who normally writes Cyrillic or Arabic, writing with Roman script? What's our script? I can't remember the actual name of it. In which most Western European languages are written. It has the feeling of being written by someone who is writing in their second language, and it looks to you to be draconic, a draconic hand that's written that. You see the same mistakes in the shapes of some letters that you can make when you're thinking about writing when you have to sort of think too much about writing in common.
I think this message was made by the Fortis Legion.
They've come this far?
Well, we've heard stories that they had.
But from the Sanctum to Vale?
And why?
And who is they?
The Fortis Legion are the elite warriors.
They come from the Sanctum. They're dragonborn. They uphold the ideas of tradition and honor. Paladins for the Sanctum.
And Kel, do you want to explain the history to I, or would you like to keep any information back at this point?
I think we can explain the history of it.
So essentially, the Fortis Legion was the name originally given to the Dragonborn that Aurum called into being, the virtuous of the Dragonborn. And Aurum was the chief military leader of the virtuous in the Divine War. And so it was very much his intention that when he created a race, he would create a military race that would keep everyone safe. And such was his desire to make sure that his teachings were understood correctly. He didn't want to breed any more than he could personally tutor. So he created 80 Dragonborn, and they're called the Chosen Fourscore, or the First Legion. And they were taught by him, and then started to go and have children generation after generation. And as those generations were born and begot more, some turned from the idea of the Fortis Legion, and the vast majority of Dragonborn, in fact all the Dragonborn that you would have met, bar a couple perhaps, would just be just the same as any other traveller, trader, politician, homemaker, baker in Reliquiae. But there are some that have stayed true to this idea, this old ideal, to use an analogy in our world, this Arthurian ideal of chivalry, of justice, of honour, of good triumphing over evil. That's who the Fortis Legion are.
And what thinks you of this legion?
I think they can be self-righteous, difficult, but they are brave and they are good fighters. But why have they come here and left this message, and are they the reason for the mourning of the city?
Why are they interfering with the Tiefling city? It's not really their wheelhouse, right?
No, it is not. They do see themselves, though, as the defenders of Reliquiae. And Aurum. Well, we know what happened to Aurum.
Mm-hmm. They weren't willing to defend Mouse, but they've come down to the Vale.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice.
Yeah.
Can you read the thing out, what it says again?
What the placard says?
Yeah.
The light must not be hidden. All must embrace it and kindle it, so it may flourish. The dark streets are to be illuminated. Evil must be burned away.
It's just like a reaction to the gloam. Those who uphold the light against the dark.
Does that mean they would have sided with...
Big face in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
Their motto is be the light.
They're not going to like the shadow will flood.
There's no light here. It's like someone's taken all of the joy out of the veil.
It's creepy.
This does not feel like the doings of the Fortis Legion, but I can't help but think that they are somehow involved.
This feels to me like a voice that sings on the mountain, a tune that nobody likes.
Let's try and find an inn somewhere. Somewhere to get out of the streets, maybe ask some questions.
You know an inn. Dolly, you know an inn called Sibilance, which sits in this area of the district.
There's one not too far from here.
You make your way towards Sibilance, and everybody roll me perception checks. Dolly?
18.
18. I?
Nat 1.
Nat 1. Radiant,
23.
23.
17.
17 from Elowin. And Kelnis?
Is the web logo a
6.
6?
I got a
13.
9.
14.
14, okay. So everyone with a 13 or higher, so I think that's everybody apart from I, you're hearing more and more of this, of what Kelnis heard originally. It's like music and voices. And it's getting louder. And as you start to you head towards this tavern, Sibilance, which is almost under the walls of there's one large section of Vale and then a subsection further in, and then there's the Murmurs. And you're getting very close to the sort of interior side of this sector of the city, and you start to see more life. None of them are Tiefling. There's only elves, halflings, orcs, dwarves, dragonborn.
This is weird.
It'd explain why that sign was in common and not infernal. There's no tieflings here.
Where are they?
And you get to Sibilance, and there is you remember the innkeeper there, there will be an orc called Chorus. And Chorus is sat outside, having a drink outside their own tavern, which looks to have no sign of life in it.
What? Hi.
Oh. You're not, what are you doing here? Roll me an insight check.
Not good. That's a 6.
You can't tell if that's a you Dolly or a you Tiefling.
What do you mean?
Shouldn't you be at Fable with the others?
Just got into the city. What's happening? What's with all of this?
It's the morning.
Mourning for what? For whom?
For Alakash, for Malachine. The pyre's been built.
Oh. Of course. I just stopping off to get a drink on the way.
I haven't. I mean, you can have a sip of this, but I'm not.
You're not open?
Well, there's precious little point, is there?
I don't know. You might get some travelers stopping by.
Roll me a persuasion check.
27.
Well, you didn't get it from me, all right? They might not like it much.
It's fine. No problem here.
And do you want to go in and sit, or do you want to just have a drink to go?
I think, we want to ask him some questions. So,
Let's get off the street.
yeah.
So, Chorus opens up for you, and Sibilance, like all Tiefling taverns, has a stage, and has books, and it has a sort of bevy of instruments that people can help themselves to on, open mic nights.
I do not want to remember some of the nights I spent on that stage.
I'd love to know about some of the nights you spent on that stage.
Buy me enough of these and I might tell you.
What exactly are you open for? Gestures to behind the bar. You would know the kind of stuff. Whatever you fancy is the sort of stuff they would normally drink here.
I'll
I
take
guess.
your advice.
Just like a wine, and a nice wine.
And he gets you a sort of rosé for the five.
Whispering tiefling. yeah.
Whispering Tiefling for the 5 of you. Hands you it's a gold. Hand over a gold and
The last time I was in this city, I had a drink called the Infernal Radical.
Oh.
Do you know this drink?
Well, I can have a... It's a complex one.
It is.
I can try and make it for you. It's not really a daytime bevy, but depends how strong you're feeling.
I would like an infernal radical, please.
I will take one as well.
No.
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 2 infernal radicals.
Yes.
It's a gold piece each.
Yeah.
I just stop Callan immediately, reach in.
To the ones Quincy didn't take.
Yeah, and just pull out multiple and just that lean to the side to the dolly and go,
Help me.
I'm gonna take the coins.
Yeah.
Take 2.
2 gold
Put
pieces.
the rest in my own pocket. I'll be like, I'll keep that for you.
And Chorus says, I'll be right back. And from underneath the table, he gets a set of goggles, sticks them on, and disappears into a back room. You hear like a, stand still!
It's like not even midday.
5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can take a table. You're going to wait for Chorus to come out with your drinks.
I mean, let's not get sidetracked here. We weren't planning on coming to Vale anyway, but there's no harm in finding out what's going on.
I think whatever we find out in Vale is going to have an effect on the Sanctum.
I agree.
It's true. Well, we can take a wander down to the morning if we want to pay our respects.
And Chorus appears with these two cups that are in the shape of skulls with roses like all round them, and they are smoking slightly. And he puts them on the edge of the bar and then lifts up his goggles, and his goggles have completely steamed up in the process of making the drinks. And he's got sort of hair pulled back in a ponytail, sort of wipes a little bit of sweat from his eyes and goes, "That was pretty rough. They're ready." Dings a little bell. Ding, 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 ding.
I go and gather them from the bar, take them back to the table, and I slide one over.
You don't have to drink it all in one go.
Take it slow. It's powerful stuff.
It's not a challenge.
Have you ever had these, Dolly?
Yeah, I think so.
That's why she was on the open mic.
One too many.
I has heard everything everyone says, and then there's one person who hasn't. So I just looks to Radiant.
I reckon you can do it in one.
Right.
Right.
Roll me
It's gonna be your
a
problem.
Constitution saving throw with disadvantage.
Oh my god.
Nope, that's going on. Let me
Cocked.
try that again.
Do you not like this anymore or what?
Okay, so that is a 6.
A 6. It hits you like someone has dropped a stone, like a huge rock on your head. It is the most staggeringly total sensation. Your head is swimming. Your eyes feel like your optic nerves are twisting round each other and then detaching. It feels like someone is ringing bells inside your ear cavities. It is absolutely insane.
Okay, unable to really take in the real world around him, just kind of holds up the skull glass and just goes, "Did I do it?"
You have disadvantage on dexterity saving and wisdom saving throws for the next 4 hours.
Did I do it?
Miraculously, yes, but we'll see how we go. I'm just going to grind him a little
Who
bit.
is touching me?
It's me,
You? Oh, you.
Me.
You.
Cal, what do you do with yours?
I watch this tragedy unfold, and I shake my head, and I take a very small sip.
And Chorus leans into whichever one of you is closest and points at Cal and says, "He's not a very good parent."
He's not a very good son.
Roll me Constitution with advantage. Constitution saving throw with advantage.
6.
6. Same thing happens to you, baby. You've drunk these before. You think it's been a long time since you had one. When was it? You said last time I was in Vale. When was the last time you were in Vale? How many months? How many years?
It's been
3 years.
3 years. You think you have your old tolerance. Baby, you don't have your old tolerance.
Ooh. Did you do it, Kel? Did you do it?
Oh my.
Disadvantage on dexterity saving and wisdom saving throws for the next 4 hours.
I miss that taste.
Has you done it?
It has the kick of a mule.
It's not so much a taste as a full body overload.
I took a sip.
Drinks it all, Kel.
And now you're blind.
In for a penny.
Knocks the whole thing back.
Holds me, Kel. Hold, Kel.
We're in this together, you and me, or you and I, and
Me.
us.
Thanks you, Steve.
Who's Steve? Oh, I'm Steve.
The other 3 of you have a nice bottle of rosé.
It's chaos.
Excuse me, I have to pee. I'll be back.
Kel wanders out. He's been here before. He knows where the door
Does he
is.
definitely?
Roll me a
is he headed
dexterity
towards-
saving throw with disadvantage as you try to stand up and stumble around the bar.
15.
Okay, you make it. You make it. You do that thing where your body isn't walking. Your body isn't faced the same direction as your head, but your head knows where you're going. So your head is is moving forward, but your body is sort of waving underneath it, but the head stays in almost exactly the same position, and you make your way to the bathroom.
Okay, this may sound weird, but I'm going to go with him. I don't trust him.
Oh, okay.
I'm just going to, just in case he falls over or does anything weird,
I'm
okay?
gonna hold his hand.
From the toilet, you just hear this.
Okay, you know what? Actually, yeah, I think you should.
Yeah, go with him.
I'm going to hold his scales back.
Yeah, and you do, and Kelnis tells his sorrows to the bottom of the
So
bucket.
embarrassed. We asked this guy to open the bar.
It's not even midday.
And Chorus says, "Your friend in a little trouble, is he?"
For your trouble. She's gonna put another gold.
Great. Make sure he gets it in the bucket.
He's missed a lot of the bucket.
I'd appreciate if there was something you can do. It's gonna be busy in a bit.
Has you got a mop?
No.
What do you want to do while you're here? I mean, you just come into
I'm actually going to leave.
Okay.
I'm going to go. Dolly, I will gesture to Dolly if she'd like to come with me, but I'm going to leave the boys to their own making.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with you.
So Aya's sat there, sort of swaying gently, giggling to himself, as the inside of his cerebellum just collapses, while Radian holds Kel's scales and your pendant, pendant that sits around your neck, which is swaying back and forth. You hold that back out of the stream, and Elwyn and Dolly head where?
I think I want to head towards where the morning is happening.
Follow the music.
So you follow the music through a set of gates, up through a new district, and into the Murmurs. And we will take a little break.
Hello, hi, how you doing? I'm Alex Jordan, the video game industry's answer to the question, what would happen if that helicopter noises guy from Police Academy acquired ADHD and a strangely extensive decorative shirt collection? Listen, nothing says down to fuck like a man in a perpetual aesthetic of ready to go bowling. And before you say, I don't think Alex would have the sexual ferocity to engage in loving yet passionate consensual intercourse in the vicinity of a bowling alley, clearly none of you were at my cousin Rory's 20th birthday party. And I don't like to dwell, but I've had sex in other places too, several H&Ms. My Aunt's aviary, twice, the pork pie section of Fornham and Mason, and during the interval of a rather moving touring theatre production of Bertolt Brecht's Mother Courage, because I'm not scared to cry during the act of making love. As I'm sure we can all agree, emotions are the orgasms of the soul. And on the subject of soul, I'll be real with you for a second, but only 1 second, as it's highly likely that I'm going to get distracted by, oh my God, that's a lemon. That's a lemon. That's 2 lemons. Okay. What was I talking about? I'm going to assume it was these lemons. It was not about the lemons. It was about patreon.com/natural6. It helps keep this show running, and it's also a place where you can sign up for cool extra stuff, behind-the-scenes content, extra shows, extra lemons. No, extra lemons, which is admittedly a shame. Patreon.com/natural6. A place where lemons are surprisingly unwelcome.
Well done, Alex. That was marvellous. We're back, everybody.
Yeah.
It better be the Alex advert now.
No, it is. It's lemons. Today is lemons.
And well done me, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
no,
Chief
for
Lemon
what, though?
Thrower.
No.
Oh, yeah, for nothing, because I was
Nothing.
edited
You weren't
out.
there?
I was removed in post digitally.
Like, we
I was like
actually
Andy
got-
Serkis in Gollum. I did 4 months of physical
Lemon
work.
tree.
We got it right every time.
To be clear, though, the bit they had to edit out was literally just 3 frames of your fingers. Like,
Yes.
you managed to stay
Yeah.
out of that.
It was
like-
incredible.
It was incredible.
It was.
Thank you.
I
Watching
stayed
it from the
completely
green
out of frame.
You stayed completely.
I
You
was-
were just sat where you actually are the
we
entire
actually had a successful take very early on,
second attempt.
which
Yeah.
wasn't usable because Doug was in the
laughed.
room laughing.
And also, it was a different version where it landed in your right hand and landed in your left.
Yeah, it went
a
boom.
feat of technical achievement.
You got 2 of those right, but just so much more of you was visible that it wasn't as usable.
If you want an excuse to subscribe to our Patreon, feel free to see it, and you'll see the BTS.
Oh yeah, all the
Super
yeah.
BTS is on the
I'm gonna
Patreon.
do it.
Otherwise, people aren't going to see all of
I'm
it.
going to upload just
The
super
infamous
fast
At least
lemons.
10 minutes of lemon.
It is about
Release
10
the lemon
minutes of
files.
people throwing lemons.
Right, so we have left Kelnis with Radian removing some of the toxins from his body.
I'm not that bad.
Radiant's
You
the
can
adult
say it. It's not that
ones.
bad.
I'm just trying to be euphemistic. Thanks ever so much. I've got to press the music. God, we're good. I is swaying gently, trying to reorientate himself.
I'm sat in it, man.
Giggling.
I'm sat in it.
He's
He's
I'm
vibing.
in this moment. I'm living it, okay? This is a new experience, and I'm taking every little bit of it in.
You're sliving.
He's going to a felt factory.
It's a fell
He's at a
factory.
felt factory.
He's
The other 2 are advancing the plot.
You caused this.
Hello,
you
Ellen
gotta
and
stay
Dolly.
with it.
Ellen and Dolly are doing what you're supposed to have done. And you start to, you reach the base of this great set of steps that leads up towards a sort of paved level. And at the edge of the cliffs, with the river rushing far below, are the murmurs. There's 6 of them, they're all different heights, but with the same basic construction, towers of many stories, each with great stained-glass windows set into elaborate stone tracery. And these have not been covered so that the space inside each of these towers is washed with coloured light. And the slender buildings are made of marble, adorned by columns and ornamental flourishes that stretch up into the pale winter sky. And the greatest of all of these is Fable, which is 6 stories high, a great central circular window on the first floor, and the marble of Fable is streaked with precious metals. There is gold that adorns each carved ridge and curve of the stonework, and at its peak is a broad balcony clad in yet more gold. And the first thing that strikes you is the smell of herbs and oils, of incense and sandalwood. There are fires lit all around here. The smoke twisting into the sky in bright colours, as if some pigment has been added to the oils as they burn.
Sight really takes your breath away, doesn't it?
Tieflings always do everything with just a little bit more flair.
You can hear the crackling damp wood and the steady wash of the river beyond. And then you tune in really to what first drew you here, and its voices. These keening voices, weeping and yelling and singing, and it's the Tieflings of Vale telling stories. And some have gathered in small groups, listening to single storytellers, and others stand alone, their arms outstretched, or they move through the crowds just whispering, speaking, calling out in tribute to their fallen Antiqua and the virtuous that she served for centuries. Both of you roll me perception checks, please.
10.
10?
12.
12. So you hear one voice that kind of lilts over the top, and you hear someone telling a story, and they say, I saw her once as the sun was rising over the river. She raised her hand towards the water and a fish leapt high, scales glistening in the morning light. The hand went higher and another fish rose up, then another and another, like a shoal above the water, like a murmuration of swallows, like a dust cloud. And then she lowered her hands and they fell. And you see that that is one tiefling speaking to a group of others, and then you hear another voice, far plainer. She healed my daughter. We were no one to her, but she laid hands on her and she drew the sickness from her body. It's just one male tiefling walking, talking to himself. And then, as you start to ascend these stairs up to this raised level, this huge pyre at the center of it, you hear songs, voices that rise sonorous and dissonant as dozens of singers compose their own arias to their lost god. There's whistles and pipes and violins and drums and lyres, and they swell and fall away, and then there is a moment where, perhaps by magic or some shared moment of inspiration and clarity, that all these voices and all these instruments unite in this tower of harmony, and it sounds like sunrise and sunset and the waxing and waning of horizon-wide tides and colour and the first moments of love and the deepest loss and the pain of ending and the joy of beginning. Can you roll me wisdom saves? Go ahead, Elowen.
12.
6.
6. You feel this noise, this sound in you, and it's like it reverberates inside your ribs. And it's like it sort of briefly for a moment cracks your hearts open. And it releases something in you that you keep hidden. Dolly, what do you feel? What do you think about?
I think about the only person since leaving home that I ever trusted. The only person that I thought loved me. And I think about the moment that I realized I was betrayed by them.
What do you think about Elowen?
How badly I want to go home. That's it. Just want to go home.
And at the foot of Fable, there's been this pyre. It's a column of wood 20 feet high, and at the top, ringed by these perfumed fires, is a body. It's the body of Malachine lying in state. You see a glass dome surrounds her, which is encased in this golden frame. It has a pattern of interlocking horns, and through this twisting pastel smoke, you see her face, and her eyes are closed as if in sleep, but the once vivid colours of her skin and her hair have faded like viewing sunlight through winter clouds.
You ever seen anything like this before?
Yes. All that power, that everything the Antiqua was, I guess it's like the colour's just been taken out of them.
This is a very tiefling ceremony. For us, it's not always about the sadness of it. It's about celebrating the you that was. And I don't know, I think there's beauty in that story continuing in the people that loved you, in the things that you loved. And I don't know, it's sad, but there's strength in that sadness.
There's a beauty in having a you that was.
Yeah, that you were here at all is something worth celebrating.
Exactly. That's why you've got to make the most of it. You're only going to get one shot at it. Well, 2 if you're lucky.
We know some people that have been that lucky already.
Thanks to you.
One of you roll me a luck check.
Can I use second wind?
Yeah, you want to add a d10 to it?
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
going
great.
to at least attempt that anyway.
Cool. So this is something called Tactical Mind, where you get to add a d10 to a non-combat
Yeah.
roll.
It hasn't done a lot. It's still only an 8.
Still only an 8. Okay. For now, nothing happens. You make your way, just walking around, just kind of breathing in what this is. You can roll me perception checks, the two of you. Go ahead, Elwyn.
23.
23.
6.
A 6. Elwyn, what you see is at the base of one of these towers is a torn placard, a torn poster that looks to have been ripped down from the wall. It's crumpled at the foot of this tower. From where you are, you can't read what it says. But none of the Tieflings, and it is only Tieflings here, seem to be paying it much heed.
Can I go over and look at it?
And you turn it over, and written in that same kind of script that you saw before, it says, "The sinless guides walk in the light of him."
Wow. It looks like he's having more of an impact than we thought.
Maybe not to everyone here.
Well, at least we know Amira would believe us.
That's true.
I mean, even she said not everyone's going to believe it just because he said it.
As you can probably tell from all these bits and pieces that we're hearing as we're passing by, truth doesn't always carry the most weight around here.
No, and I'll give the Sinless something. He does not have a flair for storytelling.
We do.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Is there anything you'd like to do while you're here? You would know, Dolly, that this is a sort of open-ended thing, really. People will mourn until they want to eat or sleep, and then they'll go to the taverns and they'll fill with more stories and more song. And then until they feel their time is done and until their respects have been paid, they'll return here.
I don't think I want to do much more. I just want to kind of... It's a very sensory experience, and I kind of just want to let that wash over me for a minute. Just take it in a little bit.
Roll me a perception check.
8.
It feels, despite the fact this isn't where you grew up or where you lived, it's this cacophony, this beautiful, discordant, imperfect sound, and you just adjust yourself to the topography of it, to its peaks and its troughs and the way it rises and falls, and you think of the river, and that's all.
You a religious person?
Not really. I guess I just never believed in something telling me how I'm supposed to live my life, or if my choices are good or if they're bad. Surely I get to decide if I think what I'm doing is good or bad, and not something I've never met or never will meet.
I agree. I'm thankful to be here, but everything I've done since arriving is because of me.
I mean, we've learned that everything we've done since we've arrived was definitely because of us.
That's the way I like to keep it.
It's the way I intend it to be. Religion, I guess it gives some people guidance or hope, but I suppose even if I've never made the right choice, I've never felt lost.
When there's no guiding hand, there's no regret.
There's no guiding hand, you can't get lost.
We're exactly where we need to be right now.
I'm exactly where I want to be.
Let's go.
Yeah, you know what? The incense really does give me a headache after a while.
You get used to it, but yeah, strong stuff.
You descend the stairs. You're going to make your way back to Sibilance. Let's roll a Constitution saving throw and see how Cal's holding up.
He's thrown up on Radiant's boots, I think. 10.
You're starting to master it, like those first, the violence of the initial episode has abated, and you're now doing that. You're doing that. You're doing the breath. You're doing the breathy spits.
That's the worst part of it.
Takes me back to my college days.
Roll me a Constitution saving throw with advantage, Radiant.
17.
Yeah, you're feeling fine. Like, there's something about witnessing someone else be sick. You master your revulsion, and it doesn't really provoke anything particular in you.
Look at this. Just looking away.
Just looking anywhere else.
There's all kinds of posters for open mic nights on the walls of this tiefling. there's so many call these numbers. There's so many. There's so many home addresses scrawled with sexual innuendos next to them.
Actually, he's looking.
There's a black light. There's a black light in there, so no one can do anything.
I'm going to look around.
Okay.
I'm going to investigate the room, and I'm going to see if there are any old web symbols that have been scratched out.
Roll me an investigation check.
For a good time, call Barry.
That's a real shame. It's only a 10.
If there are any, you can't see him.
How you holding up?
I've certainly felt better. I do love that drink, though. You should try it.
Why did you order it in the middle of the day?
Oh, because we're here, and I just love those infernal radicals. I can't believe you've never tried one.
You confuse me.
I confuse myself sometimes.
Listen,
Why do I confuse you?
Cal.
I had to. Got that taste in my mouth.
I can smell it. No, I can smell it. No, it's just you confuse me.
Go on.
You're very wise. You're very perceptive. You see things that other individuals don't see. And yet you get drunk in the middle of the day. And yet you insist on eating food immediately after. I don't understand you.
Hey, we're all dragonborn.
Roll me an insight, Radiant.
That is a 14.
Even with no particular knowledge of Dragonborn culture, it feels very much like a universal aphorism and sort of euphemism for the nature of being.
Yeah.
It feels very comfortable in Kel, as if it's like a shorthand for something.
I can relate to that.
Tell me, I confuse you. I understand that. You confuse me. I mean, who are you really? You've changed so much since we first met.
I suppose it doesn't really matter anymore, does it? I can tell you why I was in the web.
You tell me, I'll tell you.
I was in the web because I replaced someone. My brother. And I came to find him.
And no matter how hard I tried, no matter how many missions I went on, I went from chapter to chapter, I moved around. Nothing. No sign. I'm erratic because I have had an erratic life. No sense of center. Always moving.
I understand that very well.
But I didn't want to be here. I did it because my family sent me. Because I let them down. They didn't give me a choice.
They sent you to the web to find your brother.
They sold me to the web.
Morph.
My family was in debt. The people who call themselves my family, who knows?
When was the last time you were home?
Too long. What about you?
I joined the web because I needed something. I had no one. I met someone, they asked me to do something, and then I was in, but then I stayed in because the web killed my family. I wanted to find out who made that order.
Did you ever find it?
No.
Turns out we weren't very good web agents, were we? Both failing to do what we intended to come to do. Find my brother. Find out who killed your family. Thank God we're not in it anymore. The web. It's okay, you're drunk.
You know, I've learned much about this world, traveling. I have never met anyone as enigmatic as you.
You know I don't try to be, right? I don't try and be mysterious.
But you are.
Between you and I just try and be cool.
I don't think you can be cool by trying to be cool.
I'm beginning to learn that.
I think that your mystery is strangely endearing.
I would say the same about yours, but that would be quite morbid of me. I tell you what. I'll help you if you help me. We're not in the web anymore, but we can still try and find it out. I'll keep my ear to the ground, you keep yours. I'm gonna need someone with a really high perception.
I perceive in you a loyal companion on this journey. I will help you.
Thank you.
Can you help me stand up?
Of course I can.
Aye, what's been happening?
I is lying on top of a table, head over the edge, just kind of enjoying the sensation and not even realizing he's doing it because this is just part of, he's just totally lost in the sensation. Head just
Rolling.
Just doing that. Yeah.
Roll me a perception check with disadvantage.
14.
You become aware of footsteps through the sort of fog, and you open your eyes, and upside down, Chorus the orc is over you, saying, "You're all right there, are you, son?"
I is so much more than all right.
Well, don't hit your head. And then Chorus just goes back behind the bar. And as he leaves, Kel and Radian come.
He's we've got our arms around each other. He's supporting me. I'm a little unsteady on my feet. Oh, thank you.
You're very welcome. Oh, not again.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Roll me a Constitution saving throw, I.
That is a 19.
Great. You still have disadvantage on Wisdom and Dex saves, but in terms of you can now sort of play this more to your advantage. So I'll give you advantage on Persuasion, Deception, Performance until the effects end as well.
Okay. Great. Upside down, I see them, arms around each other, and I just go,
This is nice.
You look very relaxed.
I cannot feel my neck.
Eyes red, but Eye's head looks really red. Like there's a lot of blood in Eye's head at the moment. And then Elowen and Dolly, it's not long after this, you return.
Hey!
Having fun?
Yeah, they're doing okay, considering.
Good job keeping them out of trouble.
Just
Relatively?
keeping on.
Okay. Luke's gonna like take Eye's head, lift it, and just slide him down the table a little bit to the head, so the blood isn't no longer rushing just to his head.
and then I just looks at Indalion and just goes,
It's the wrong person, obviously.
at Elowen.
It's fine, you're drunk.
It's so good, it's perfect.
And Elowen goes,
I is fine. I is fine.
I can tell.
Any of that wine left? I just need one more drink.
Yeah, there's enough left for another glass.
What did you find?
Morning. It's fine.
It's morning already.
It's a tiefling thing. Everyone's very sad. But also celebrating the life of Alakash, Malakine.
I understand to celebrate side.
Yeah. It's everything.
I understand to celebrate everything.
Do you?
I don't know.
I don't know. Just brings back a lot of memories. Some good, some really not so good.
Tieflings know how to make you feel.
That we do.
What do you think? Spend some time here. Worth investigating, we move on.
It's depressing here.
It's not usually depressing, but right now, it's, it'll take a while to go back to normal. Can't really see any reason for sticking around.
I was so looking forward to going to Chester's.
I'm sorry.
You know Chester's? Do you know Chester's?
I know
Chester's
Chester's?
is great.
I might know Chester's.
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 Roll me a history check, Dolly.
13.
13. Yeah, Chester's was like a, for a long time, originally it was a sort of quite divey place with some nefarious types, but then Vale kind of has gentrified, and so it's more now of a sort of self-consciously kitschy, it's a bit of a crap area, but oh my gosh, it's so fun. Like, everything's so naff in there.
It's very Peckham.
It's very Peckham, yeah.
Between that and Alicante, we're really bringing
Yeah.
yeah.
It's conflicted.
Chester's, go ahead.
I love Chester's. I remember back in the days when your feet would stick to the floor like that. It was, but they had peanuts, and they were the best peanuts I've ever had. They had something on them that was like paprika, but it wasn't paprika.
Oh.
And I ate them
Yeah.
by the handfuls.
That's triggering a memory, yeah.
And
They stopped doing those, it was too expensive.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a shame. What do they do now?
They do. You remember the place we went to back in Yannick with the little spoon, the little bites and stuff? It's more that kind of vibe now. Wouldn't recommend it.
Oh.
This is way nicer.
That makes me even more depressed. Let's get out of here.
So you are going to head out the city completely? Or are you going to... It's entirely up to
See
you.
any reason to stick around, but like, it's up to everyone.
Are these two even fit to travel?
Take my heels.
That's not what I asked.
He can do it faster.
No, he's just drunk driving. He's just speeding while drunk.
Yeah.
I am concerned about what we will find when we reach the Sanctum.
We've got a long way to go before we get there.
It's another 3 days again.
But if the Fortis Legion has come this far, then we may encounter them well before the Sanctum.
We saw some banners further into the city that, I don't know, what do you think, Elwin? It's kind of suggested that the Legion might have swallowed Marbask the Sinless's lies.
The Veil is conflicted. It's clear there's some propaganda that may want to side with the Sinless, but not everybody in the Veil believes it.
I'm not sure the Veil is convinced, but clearly the Legion's trying to convince people of it, and I think the further out of here we get, we might find people that are more inclined to, believe him. So, everyone got those.
If the Fortis Legion is siding with Barabask, we may be in very great danger.
We're already in very great danger.
Yeah, what's new there?
Cal, remember, you're not Calness. You're Steve Chase.
Steve Chase isn't afraid of anything.
No.
Steve Chase makes the best spoons in all of Reliquiae.
Absolutely. Workman, can I get another Infernal for the road?
No.
Chorus looks over and says, I can do you another one if you want.
Of course, you're in the market for any spoons at all?
Roll me a persuasion check.
29.
Yes. I'm in the market for spoons.
I've got the best spoons you've ever seen.
All quality
yeah.
assured.
You're gonna want to make a bulk order of these because believe me, they are flying off the shelves.
Right, well, am I getting drinks or am I hearing the pitch?
Oh, she said no.
You're hearing the pitch.
Well, all right, I'm all ears.
Show them your spoons. Show them. Yeah, you don't need ears. You just need eyes.
Okay.
Have a look.
There, look. Finest hand-carved spoons.
Look at that.
I lay out 10.
Top quality, and they've all been quality tested
This one's
to a
done.
very high
ask,
degree.
Don't ask how.
No.
I put my finger up
No.
and I just go,
Is this going to last forever?
Oh, the feeling? No.
Okay,
By night time, you'll be right as rain.
okay.
No.
There's good spoons.
They are.
Well, come highly recommended, clearly. Well, I could have a look, I suppose. And he inspects the spoons.
Never find anything finer.
No, they're very beautiful, if anything.
This one is carved out of a maple tree.
They make great gifts.
They taste good.
Whereas I haven't got much cause for him in the tavern, you see.
No. You're not listening. tavern spoons, but also gifts. But we'll do you a deal, like bulk discount.
What are we talking when we say bulk?
Illness.
I've got 3 dozen in my bag, and I think Radiant has a few, and Dolly has some. I
don't have any.
I might have some as well. I think we've all got spoons. We've probably got 6 dozen somewhere stashed among us all. I don't know.
He turns his head.
No.
What did you say your names were?
I'm Steve Chase, not to be confused with Ray Chase. That's a whole different person. Ray Chase. Ray
Right.
doesn't do spoons. I do spoons.
fair enough.
I'm Steve. These are my spoons.
Roll me insight, all 5 of you.
Okay.
No, wisdom saving throws you have disadvantage on, so this is not.
Wisdom saving throw.
No, so just roll a regular insight check. You don't need to have disadvantage, Kelnis. Radiant,
Dirty 20.
dirty 20. Elowin,
13.
13. Kelnis,
13.
13.
17.
17 from
18.
I. 18 from 100%. It's clocked your names.
You're going to make a mistake.
Beg your pardon?
Buy any spoons or not?
No.
No? Okay, well then.
I need to go and have a.
No, you don't.
I need to go and have a look.
No.
For the.
Chorus?
I need to check my.
No, I don't think you do.
Roll me an intimidation check.
That's 22.
He says,
I don't think you do.
so you look familiar.
Familiar, but not guilty.
And he just puts his hands up. This guy's like a tavern owner. He's not a fighter. He's not anything. He's just a normal guy on a.
Her hand out to everyone else. Just
There's a lot of rumours. I've got no business adding to him.
let us walk out of here?
Yeah, with pleasure.
Okay. You won't see us again. No trouble.
All right.
Okay. Leave him a spoon. One.
Here, you can have the maple one. It's very good. See how the knot work goes right through the handle.
Just to prove.
Very good.
No harm.
Yeah.
And you leave.
Give that to your missus.
Thanks.
We're going to head back to Baroon now. And no one's going to follow us.
They've got good street meat in Baroon. Did you know that?
That's good to know.
Let's go. 9.
All right.
I literally scoop I up off the table.
Yeah, the 5 of you start to head out.
Chronos guy, you make a mean infernal. Thank you.
He nods, puts the spoon into his, into a pocket of his apron, and Dolly, as you leave after the rest of them, the last thing you see is him just sort of steady himself on the table as you shut the door after yourselves. And you're out in the streets.
We have spent enough time here. We need to go. That was too close.
I don't think you understand how close that was.
We won't
Why are you
do
looking at me? What did I do?
Let's keep moving.
Yeah.
Out of the city.
Yeah. I'm genuinely angry, and I'm actually gonna walk ahead of everybody.
Roll me a perception check, Elowin, I'm sorry, as you walk ahead of everyone.
No, I'm not angry. I don't see anything. It's a 5.
Okay, the rest of you are behind her. Roll me perceptions with disadvantage. You're trying to look as Elowin is leading you out.
Natural 20.
Natural 20, but with disadvantage.
What was it? Perception?
Perception. Go ahead, Radiant. 5. Kelnis.
Natural 20.
Natural 20 with disadvantage. You rolled 2 nat 20s.
Oh, no. Oh, okay. Sorry, then it would be 24. I rolled a 16 and then I rolled a 20 and I got plus 8.
Fine,
so-
totally fine.
Wow.
Yep, 7.
15.
15. Calnis, you're looking at Elowin and you're trying to figure out what you did. And it's that drunk thing where you can see that you've upset her. You've clocked that you're all leaving. You're not really in a state to remember quite how or why. It's like as information's going into your brain, it's going back out. But you care enough about Elowin that you're really focused on her as she's walking ahead of you. And at the intersection that Elowyn is heading towards, you see 3 Dragonborn pasting something to a wall. You see them. They have not yet seen Elowyn. They have not yet seen you. Dolly, you catch them as well. You see them too.
Stop, everyone stop. Elwyn.
I'll just, if it's because it's Dolly, I immediately stop in my tracks.
Okay. And with those 2 pointing out what's happening, all 5 of you see it. There's these Dragonborn. They wear these kind of sort of loose-fitting trousers. They're shirtless, these great muscles and scales, and on their arms are these metal armor plates, and they are attaching a large placard which says, "Rumor is a creeping dark, turn towards the light of truth." They are going to be done with that in a minute.
We have to go a different way.
Let's go.
Everybody roll me stealth checks. We will treat this as a group stealth check. So it will be about successes and failures. What did we get?
23.
23. 27.
That's 1.
Nat 1.
15.
15.
19.
19. So, as it's a group check, here's what's going to happen. Kel, you get to Elowyn first, and as you push her and the rest of you slip down this side alley, as you turn, Kel, you stumble on the uneven stones. There's loads of stairs and twisting alleyways in Vale, and your tail slams against the wall as you try to disappear down this side alley. I'm going to have them roll perception checks. They rolled 17 and 18 on the die, the ones that I've had roll. And you hear in Draconic, "Wait! Who are you?"
Keep moving.
I just go.
You just go. You want to book it. You want to go.
We're going to book it.
Okay.
Are we near a crowd?
You are. I mean, it's not very populated here. You've got the odd non-tiefling, but essentially 90% of the population are around the murmurs.
We're in a crowded alley. Or sorry,
You're in a
we're
narrow alley. Absolutely.
But there's a crowd on the other side, and they're behind us.
No, this is not a crowded, populated area. They are in a quiet side street, pasting up more placards. So what I will say is, this is an absolute warren. I will say you know this place better than the others. If you can roll me a survival check with advantage, and you beat a survival check of these Dragonborn who have clocked some kind of draconic figure, then you will lose them before they catch up with you. So, roll survival.
18.
They have a 14 and they have a +2. It's a 16. Okay. So, you start herring it through the streets of Vale. There is Dolly is directing you, grabbing people. Kelnis manages to catch up with the rest of you, and you can hear in Draconic, "Wait, stay where you are!" as these people are pursuing you. The rest of you hear this Draconic is this language. It's really guttural, and you can hear it getting louder and louder.
Can I fire off darkness behind us as well?
Absolutely, you can fire off a darkness. You fire off a darkness spell, and Dolly drags you into this really enclosed dark alley underneath a set of stairs, fires this darkness to the top of the stairs. You hear this panicked, the rest of you, and obviously, I'm so sorry, you would also hear everything in Draconic, but to you it feels, to you it sounds closer to a sort of, "Where are you? Come back!" Like it has this sort of formal, slightly more aggressive sound than the version of Draconic you're used to. And you hear these voices, the 2 Draconic speakers hear, "Where did they go?" And "Search for them!" They're trying to push their way through this darkness, and you hear footsteps as the 3 of them, disorientated by the dark, all go down different alleyways, and after a while you hear those footsteps recede.
I think we need to get out of here. Out of the city. As fast as possible.
Who knows the way?
All right, follow me.
At least now we know that the Fortis Legion is this far.
Are you heading for the bridge north of Vale? Okay. So you slip out as quietly as you slipped in. And for all the fact that when you were first approaching Vale, the silence felt like an enemy. It felt like something that spoke to death or ill will or some kind of malady. Now it feels like a friend. Now these sparsely populated streets and the few traders that you occasionally see, it's like the non-Tieflings, knowing that the morning will stop reasonably soon, are starting to kind of prepare for the evening, but you are uninhibited as you make your way out of these silent streets and you make your way back into these vineyards bedecked with black silk and the flower fields, and you start to head north towards the bridge. And the bridge is a couple of hours away. And by that point, you're just about starting to come round I and Kelness. In fact, you can both roll me Constitution saving throws with advantage to see whether or not you've completely lost the effects. Go ahead, I.
That's a 19.
19.
12.
12. You've both managed to shake it off. And you're going past you're sort of on the edge of the Seam River, the irregular river.
It's almost like a excellent clarity that comes after this feeling and this sensation and this headspace I've been in, and kind of coming through the other side of it and just kind of thinking about what lies ahead.
We need to be aware that a bridge is a very narrow point of crossing. We need to be prepared if the Fortis Legion is here. I don't think we should approach straight away. We should see if we can spy anything on the bridge. They knows it will be a crossing point.
It's not a bad idea. Starting to make a lot of sense again.
But they don't know us. They caught us running. They caught 5 people looking dodgy in an alleyway and running.
A barman knows us. The Fortis Legion will be lookings
They have vague
for us.
descriptions of us.
A barman knows we're going to Baroon.
A barman does, yes. But I is just saying, if a barman can figures us, a legion lookings for us might also be
That's
able
because
to...
Harmon didn't figure us. Someone told him our names.
Not that we're pointing any fingers. It happens. We're going to have to be more careful of that going forward, because the closer we get to the Sanctum, the more we're going to see of the Legion. So we really need to start being careful and using our other names, Steve. Not pointing any fingers. Just saying.
I am Steve Chase.
How can I stay mad at you?
Drink the morning and look at the moon. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
So would you like to have a little sort of scout ahead of the bridge, or even just find some cover with which to see if there's...
I just thinks it is a wise move.
I agree.
Okay. So the bridge that spans the seam was made by the same masons that built the Murmurs. And just like those towers, these bridges have been constructed to impress. And on the riverbank and across on the other side, large stone arches have been constructed that lead to the bridge itself. And these structures that offer shelter against the elements have resulted in a cluster of market stalls being set up, offering for sale the kind of produce that you would know Vale for, largely booze and hallucinogens. Roll me a perception check, whoever wants to go and make that. Whoever wants to kind of... I mean, you can all roll perception checks. You can all have a little look. Go ahead, I.
17.
Radiant.
15.
12.
12.
12.
12.
15.
15.
Suck at perception.
17, 2 15s, and 2 12s.
Yeah. I have a lot of 12s.
So with 12s, you can see the market's empty. There's no No calls of traders, there's no travellers. You've passed over these bridges before. Normally it's like, it's busy. It's almost like a tourist hotspot. People would be excited to go to the Bridges of Vale. Beautiful jewellery as well you can buy on the Bridges of Vale. But there's no one here. With a 15 and a 17, you see why. Hung from the arch, suspended from the other side of the arch, there's a rope hanging in the breeze. And there's a body attached to that rope. And with a 17 eye, it's a familiar tiefling with purple skin. It's Petra.
I relay this to the others. I think we must be very careful and cautious from here on. Especially, we must take care with this bridge.
What time of day is it?
It's coming towards mid-afternoon.
Do we want to find somewhere else to cross, or do we want to wait until it's a bit darker?
What is it, a warning?
You're not close enough to see yet. Only I has made out who it actually is. You can also see with the 17 there's something hung round her neck,
I was
like a placard.
literally about to say, does we want I to stealth closer? There is something around their neck.
Do you think you can get there safely and back?
I has lost your sight many times.
That's true.
We're here if you need us.
So yeah, I would like to try and find a route down that would provide some cover, provide some opportunity for stealthing.
Yep, yeah, absolutely. Roll me a stealth check.
It's a 19.
There's no one here. You creep down using the stones beside the river to mask your approach. You reach the first of the tents. You pop your head over. There's no one here.
Okay.
You look down the length of the bridge. There is no one here, and you look up at Petra.
Okay. I obviously can't read what's around her neck.
No.
But what I'm going to do is I'd like to find a pebble, and I want to peer around and just throw this pebble down the bridge as far as I can. Just
Yep.
some sort of...
Great. Roll me a ranged attack with the pebble. It just is -1 from whatever you'd use your magical crossbow.
Oh, sorry. So, yeah, like 16.
16 plus.
Sign.
Yep.
Yeah, plus 8.
Plus 8. 16 plus 8. 24. This pebble tink, 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 skitters along the bridge, and you see it comes to rest in the opposite side. You can see more market stalls, and you hear its clattering echoing off the arch on the other side. No, nothing.
Okay, I'm going to make my way back up then to the others, and just explain that this place is seemingly empty. Would they have heard the pebble from where?
You can all roll perception checks and see if you saw what I was doing.
Nope.
Nope.
14.
12.
14.
14, you saw him and you heard something skittering, but you didn't see that he threw it. You don't know what he knows.
I tested the bridge. I wanted to see if there was any trap. I threw a pebble. Nothing.
What was around your neck?
I say we just go.
Yeah.
I can't read.
Let's just go.
Let's just go.
Okay. And you take the same path that I took down to the bridge and through the stalls. And around Petra's neck, you read the placard. And it says, "In the face of darkness, we are the light. We all must kindle that light. To turn from it is to embrace the dark. Let this stand as a warning to those that would welcome dark. Such is the punishment for thievery. And it's signed Segovax, Gallant of the Fortis Legion. And beneath that it says, on the orders of Carvilius, right hand of the Sinless. And that's where we'll end our session. So thank you very much, everybody. Lovely session. Well done, all. That is it. That's episode 18. You can head over to our Patreon now, and you can watch us unpack this particular lunch that I laid before my friends. Or you can wait till next week, and you can catch us on Action Surge. Thank you.
There's no more housekeeping.
There's no, pardon?
There's no more housekeeping.
There's no more housekeeping. There's no more housekeeping.
Nice time.
Yeah, we ended on a somber note and a somber room. So it's a little disconcerting, but it's entirely my fault. But yeah, thank you so much for watching us, everybody. Thank you for joining us this week, and well, we will see you very soon for more adventures in the world of Reliquia. Bye, everybody. D&D baby.
D&D baby.